Hey guys, it has been a couple of days and I have had a bee of a time trying to get myself back on here. Oh my goodness. Let me go ahead and just welcome y'all. This is a late night stream and I was supposed to do it earlier today, but didn't quite make it. So we're gonna do a bit of a recap, my final thoughts on all of this halftime. We're going to do some Twitter highlights, which is what I am going to be doing from the top of the show from now on. Um, and I will ask a question right around midway, and then I'll ask a question at the end to see who pops in and who decides to answer it. Hello, language of horses. Can you hear me okay? Girl, it has been quite a challenge to try to get back on here. I purchased a nice mic for myself, and I have been trying to get my audio situated for quite some time, and it has been, oh my goodness. I mean, I've literally spent almost 72 hours trying to figure out this technical stuff, and I thought I was savvy until this happened. But how are ya? How are ya? It's really late, but I figured, hey, it's Saturday night. Most people stay up late, so why not, right? Yay, you hear me. Yay. I actually don't look my best. Like I said, I have been such like challenged with this entire thing, but I definitely want to stay on track. I was hoping to get on here around like 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and it just didn't happen. So I am actually attempting to stream on Twitch and on Twitter. So the way that I'm going to start this show moving forward permanently is to do Twitter highlights. I'm new to Twitter, but with all that's going on with the halftime of the trial, I want to keep up, with Twitter and what's going on. So we're going to get into that in a second. The second thing I wanted to kind of go into is what's trending on Twitter in terms of some of these petitions that are getting posted, and stuff. I think, from what I've understood, because I haven't really been able to watch a lot of live streams in the last couple of days like I normally do because I'm normally on it. I know Emily D. Baker did a recap, I believe, her Friday Night Live show of what she was expecting, hopefully this week from Cross, which I missed that, so I haven't been able to catch up on that, and I really need to, though, because she was a former prosecutor, and for me, just understanding, what they're expecting from Cross to me is very important. So I don't know how you guys feel about all of that, but for me, I'm like, I know everybody's super, super excited and sitting on their edge of their seat for Cross, but I kind of want to know what the attorneys are looking for in terms of Johnny Depp to do his team to do really well. Um, I did hear that Warner Brothers has booted AH out of Aquaman 2. Now I don't know if that's for sure. That's why we're gonna go. That's why we're doing our Twitter highlights. But I hear they've let her go. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I have heard that they are now. The petition is like at 4.5 million, I believe. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. And then, like I said, just what's going on Twitter. So let's go ahead and grab something to drink, y'all. We'll be here for a little bit. Hopefully I can keep your attention, and you guys will share this link. Please like the video. There's only 2 of you in here, but please like it because it does help me know that I'm not just talking to myself. As you guys know, I'm a new live streamer, so I am voicing my opinion on the trial. I did want to take a minute, though, before we jump over onto Twitter and kind of address something that I heard. I think her last name, now I'm going to try to say this as best as I can, but I think it's Christina Pickles. I really love her channel. She had a live stream earlier, and I didn't get to catch up on that. I tried to watch like maybe 10 or 15 minutes of it before I started the stream while I was messing with my audio. But she was having trouble with some of her content, the audios, and getting copy stricken and stuff. And I think she's pretty familiar with some of the larger YouTubers. But I did want to kind of put a message out to her. She said she was just kind of communicating with her audience and talking about what her options were for YouTube. Now, I'm not quite sure how this is going to apply towards the audio, Christina, if you're listening to this, but I did want to kind of address it because I was like, I tried to like, you know, tweet you, I guess, on Twitter because I was watching your live stream and I'm like, oh crap, she's already like live streamed 5 hours ago, and I was trying to do an at to you on Twitter because I don't believe you have your direct messages available. But I did want to say, now I learned my brother started a movie channel, a movie review channel last year, and we were having trouble with the editing, doing copyrighted clips from the movie. The movie that we did was the one with, oh crap, what's Emily Blunt, right? Is that her name? Um, A Quiet Place 2 is what we were doing. And I was editing the video and I was using original movie footage, you know, because we wanted to be as authentic in the movie as we could. And so we did get some feedback from YouTube, but we were able to go around that. So I do know that there have been some YouTubers saying that they were getting, you know, dings from using the content of streaming the trial, I believe, and also the audios. But I do believe that there is an option where you actually can reply to what the copywritten type of stuff that they're giving you, to do it as a reaction video. So the way that it works is if you get a copyright, it asks you if you want to dispute it, and then there is an area of that dispute where you can actually click on it, and it's a thread, and it gives you all these bubbles, you know, these options to choose from. And even though it goes under review, you can actually say that you're reacting to the audio. Now, I understand that the big wigs, such as Law and Crime Network, I believe, are, I mean, you know, and they're saying Amber Heard's people are going after some people that are, you know, that are streaming the audio and reviewing it and all that kind of stuff. But if you are a commentary or reaction channel, I do believe that you have a better chance of disputing that through that option. So I don't know if you've already tried that, but I did want to go ahead and, you know, share that with you because I did learn that myself using original movie footage. So I hope that helps. I also I know a lot of people are using your footage, and you were saying that as well. So I don't know if anybody else is getting feedback from that. Now I also kind of just wanted to take a second to talk about this because I know I'm new to live streaming as well and was a little bit nervous about using other channels' contents. But I credit the channel in the description box, and those original audios are on the channel, but I'm watching someone else's video and like reacting to that. And I did use a little bit of your audio as well on the 4-hour audio track that you posted of them too. I think it was 5 hours and 20 minutes or something like that, but I didn't get any strikes from that. But although I did not release that content directly from my channel either, so I'm not sure, you know, if that helps at all, but I did want to go ahead and just like give you that little bit of information about the movie footage that we used and how we got around that, because we weren't claiming, you know, to have the audio, the movie footage of our own. We were just basically, you know, reacting to the movie and you know, giving our thoughts and commentary on the movie. So I'm not sure if you're going to see this or not, but I did want to go ahead and kind of just, you know, sort of, you know, I don't know, share that if that helps at all. I think also you were talking about, you know, getting monetized on YouTube as well. I know that, you know, I know you talked about Patreon and you also talked about PayPal. I know there's a lot of people that try to get monetized from YouTube, and I know what I do know about monetization, just in, you know, trying to research YouTube information as much as I could, is that you can't have any copyrights on your channel at all in order to be considered for the program, which, you know, you probably already know that as well now that they're kind of sending you information on why. But I do think, though, that there is a way to dispute that information, as mentioned, because it is fair use. And I know that you said that you had spoken to Andrea Burkhart as well about it, and I think you mentioned in your live stream that it was fair use. So I just kind of wanted to share that little bit of information. I'm not sure if it helps or not. You know, I'm not even sure if you'll see this, but at the same time, I did want to go ahead and share that with you because I did kind of tweet out or whatever, like, you know, that I was trying to kind of reach out to you personally and just kind of give you some of the information that I've, you know, that I've learned. You know, I've been studying, trying how to like do this YouTube thing for a very long time, for about 4 years now. And I've learned different bits of pieces from different larger channels that teach how to actually do YouTube for a living. So if you are interested and you need to know more information or whatever, I bought the masterclass from Think Media. So if you haven't checked out that channel and you are looking to do this, for a living, I would definitely check out Think Media. Or like I said, if you have means for me to go ahead and reach out to you, I'd be happy to share with you the information that I learned as well. So yeah, but if you have so language of horses, you said you have copyright problems on your channel because you use music that is on an app. Well, the thing about music is that here's the best way to find music. If you are an avid content creator that actually posts videos all the time, I think based on my experience, because I was never a big YouTuber, even when I transitioned to live streaming like I am now. I only lost 4 subscribers in the transition, but it took me less than a year to get from like 600 to over 1,000 subscribers. And then I tried Epidemic Sound, and then I just was like, it's almost $16 a month, and it was kind of expensive, for the whole 12-month period. I thought that was just a little bit too much for me. And the thing about subscribing to music for your videos, and bear with me, y'all, we will talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp and everything that's going on, but I did want to go ahead and address this in the beginning of the stream, so I hope you don't mind. But the thing about like Epidemic Sound or any other music company that you hear all these larger YouTubers talk about is that even if you stop your subscription, they're going to copyright you if you no longer pay for the content. So I would highly recommend no copyright. I think it's no copyright vlog music, I believe it is, and I'll leave the link below if you guys are looking for music to use without getting copyrighted. But I personally found upbeat music. I think it's called upbeat music, but there's 2 P's, and it's $6.99 a month, which I think is a good deal for the entire year, and it's really good music. I'm very, very big on trap and lo-fi music because I feel like it's kind of, easygoing and calm. I listen to it a lot on my Amazon little device there. I would say her name, but y'all know she'd get involved in the conversation, and we know how she loves to get the tea, so or dish the tea actually. But anyway, so that's also a good opportunity if you can afford it. And it's maintainable. You know what I'm saying? Like $6.99. Yeah, it's a little bit on the high side when you do it by the year, but for me, I feel like it's unlimited. You can put it on various channels. And so what happens with that actually is you attach it to your video, and then you will get a copyright right after it drops. But when you dispute it, all you have to do is just let them know, I am a member of Upbeat Music, and what I do is I just copy and paste my receipt, and that is my verification along with my reference number of my paid subscription, which therefore gives me the license to use that music every month. So for me, even though it was kind of limited as to the type of music I was listening to, or especially if you're like in the shopping community and things like that, because that's where I came from, you will hear actually on that platform, you will hear a lot of the same music that people use within the holidays and all that kind of stuff if you guys are coming from that community. And I only mention that because a lot of people that stayed with me, that are my OGs, know that I did shopping hauls prior to doing this. And so I did want to share that. But there's a lot of information that you can learn on growing as a YouTuber from Think Media. I did pay for the masterclass a couple of years ago. I've been studying how to go ahead and become a YouTuber, for actually as a job for a long time. It's just I haven't found my feet in where I belong with YouTube. And so although I have all of this, kind of experience, I've been on YouTube since 2009. I've tried all different kinds of communities. I've tried, weight loss. I've tried weight loss surgery because I did have that at a point in my life. I've tried narcissistic abuse. I was on there for quite a while and did very well there, but I was not prepared and I was not ready for that kind of reciprocation at the time. I'm sorry, y'all, but 25,000 views scared me. So I had to kind of step back from that channel and decide if that's really what I wanted to do. So I I bowed out of that one. And then I had this channel for, started it in late 2016, early 2017, and have had this channel for almost 5 years. So, Christina, if you're watching, I mean, I'd be happy to share any information I have, regarding YouTube. Although I do know that you have attorney friends and stuff. In terms of the platform, though, I'd be happy to, just kind of share what I learned with you that can make it simple and easy, and hopefully, I can help you in any way possible. I have a lot of experience with editing and videos and cameras and lighting and all of that good stuff. The only thing is for me, now that I'm transitioning, y'all, I'm trying to get some votes on what should I do with my background. Now, I am going to be switching out my purple wall. Y'all, I'm sad because I'm starting a podcast with my sister and a couple of women in my family. We're doing a girl podcast, and the name has lavender in it, and I was just so wanting to have my little purple wall. I got my little Andy Warhol double. I did that on purpose because I was thinking of Amber Heard, and I was thinking multiple personalities. You know what I mean? But also I was looking around the house trying to see what to use, just for kind of a snappy background. But as you can see, purple doesn't really complement lighting. It's very, very hard because the purple I love has a lot of gray in it. So I'll be, switching my background. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know what you think I should kind of do. I definitely know I'm going to go white, though, back there and, get myself, all cutesy for y'all. I've got some neon signs coming as well. I ordered a couple of neon signs also just to kind of give me some, some pizzazz, if you will. All right, you guys, so I just wanted to kind of talk about that, and so let's go ahead and dive into, why we're here. So let's go ahead and take a peek at Twitter. I do know that I'm following someone that's really, really popular on YouTube that's a super, super big fan of Justice for Johnny, and I want to go ahead and share that because I want to say it's Cookie Depp. I think that's her, her screen name. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Can I do that? Yeah, okay. So we're going to talk about the petition in a minute, but let's go ahead and take a peek at Twitter, which I didn't click on because I'm always ready. Also, let me know how clear I am. You guys, I just recently joined StreamYard. I'm normally an OBS user, a Streamlabs OBS, but I decided to jump on the wagon that everybody is using StreamYard, so we'll see how it works. The way I see myself, it's a bit grainy and a bit rough, so let me know on your end if I'm as clear as I am through my monitor because, I love clarity and good audio. So let me know how my mic is too, y'all. I'd really love to hear how you guys think about my mic, this little mic I got. I'm super excited. It's a little USB mic. Only cost me $40. I'm super stoked, man. All right. So there was a new hashtag that started, I believe, about 3 days ago. I'm going to go ahead and expand my screen a bit, and put me a little bit on the bottom here. But there was a hashtag going around. Hey, there I am. So let's see. There was a hashtag going on. We love you, Johnny Depp. So when it first started, I remember the night that I saw it. I don't know if it was exactly the same day, but I do know that We Love You, Johnny Depp had started, I know Cookie Depp is who I'm following, who wanted to try to kind of multiply, how many people were actually reposting this. And earlier today, because now, it's about 9:50 here in California, but earlier today it was trending at about 13,000. So there are a lot of people, doing this. So if you do have a Twitter account, I highly recommend that you jump on Twitter and just post "We Love You, Johnny Depp," and then hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp, and then, maybe put your favorite picture or, video or, meme or GIF, I guess, or whatever that is. I know that. Oh, girl, I saw this. Okay. I say girl a lot. I hope if you're a guy, sorry, but I say girl a lot. What is this? What is this? I know they hosted SNL, but I was like, no. I hope that these guys are dating. Okay, I'm sorry, but I really like Post Malone. I always have. And I know he's quite young. I know he's definitely younger than Selena Gomez. But girl, I am excited. I mean, I'm so happy to see this. Now, I know, like I said, I don't know who the musical guest was. I don't know if it was Post Malone or her. I think she was hosting. Or is it tonight? I don't even know. I don't have my days mixed up. I guess, isn't tonight Saturday night? Saturday night? Anyway, I just hope that if they met each other, that they get together. Now, will they not be a cute little couple or not? I've seen a lot of interviews with Post Malone, and I don't like the fact that he drinks so much. I will say that, and I know he's a bit of a chain smoker, but he's just to me he's a very cute personality. So I've never really heard anything negative about Post Malone, and I know he's been around for a really long time. And I know obviously the beer drinking is not a good influence on Selena since she has health issues, but I hope that I don't know. I think if you're fans of these guys and you just see this picture of them two together, you're like, oh my goodness, I hope they actually go out on a date or something. So let me know what you think about that. All right, moving on. Moving on. So Bill Burr stood up for Johnny Depp. I did mention this last night. And you know what else I forgot? Look, you guys, I started these banners, and y'all need to remind me. So I have this banner that goes to start the show, and it's like this little ticker. See? Twitter highlights. So as I go through what I want to talk about, I'm going to be putting it on the screen. And I forgot. Sorry. I'm trying to get used to the StreamYard and, you know, make sure and kind of keep you guys. So as people pop in, if they do, you guys can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, and Dakota Johnson, like I talked about that last night. What else was? I haven't really been on Twitter a lot today. Is the problem because I was so wrapped up in my technical issues. Oh my goodness. But anyway, here's the petition. This said now someone posted this. I don't know if it's true or not, but it says Aquaman 2 petition for Amber Heard removal has now passed over 4.5 million, which is true. That is true. But I heard someone say that Warner Brothers is nixing her, I believe. So we'll see. A lot of things go through the mills, go through the grapevine, so you never know what's true and what's not. But I really hope they do. I hope they take her out. I know she was narrowed down to about 10 minutes in the movie, and I hope that they just nix her out of that whole thing. Honestly, you guys, let me get your opinion on something if you are watching on Twitch or on Twitter. But I was gonna make a petition to remove Amber Heard from Hollywood altogether. Let me know if you see this on Twitter or on Twitch or here. If comment below and let me know if you think I should do that. Honestly, I was just like, I've been really thinking, and going back, like, I am a firm believer that some people, some women are abusing the Me Too movement. I think, originally when it started, obviously, it was good. Thank you for listening. I just think that the Me Too movement started out, as it should have, in getting justice for women. But at the same time, I feel like as it moved forward, I feel like some people were taking advantage of it. I just do. And this being one of the instances with Amber Heard. So I feel like Amber Heard should, in my opinion, as a citizen, as a viewer, as a fan of Johnny Depp's or as a fan of any celebrity, I feel like they need to take accountability and they need to, deal with what they've dished out. That's what I feel like. And I feel like that, like I said, I mean, any male actor that had to suffer a consequence of anything from their past or whatever, such as many actors, not even, I mean, Harvey Weinstein, we already know about that and how that was just unbelievable as it was, and as just as it should have been, and then, Bill Cosby and the whole thing, but Kevin Spacey, you know what I mean? Matt Lauer, all of those actors. And if you've seen, if you're a fan of Hulu, I'm sorry, excuse me, if you're a fan of Apple TV, I believe it is. Is it Apple TV? The good, what's it called? Good Morning, The Good Morning Show? Is that what it's called? Remember with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, which I believe is supposed to be covering that story, right, of the whole Matt Lauer thing when it happened. And Steve Carell looked really good in that show. Gosh, he really looked kind of, he was handsome, and that's what she said. No, I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? But I just really strongly believe, that not only, through the court of public opinion, that do we believe that Johnny Depp is innocent, but at the same time, and I still feel like no matter what happens, I think she should have some consequences to suffer. I mean, I honestly do. I don't think that, in my opinion, as a person that it follows Hollywood and reads, get pays attention to pop culture and the whole thing, that she should not have. I mean, this should not be something that fades out after a month or something, and then we see her in something else. You know what I mean? I just don't think. I think this. I think she needs to be removed from the ACLU as an ambassador. I think she needs to be removed from L'Oreal. I think she needs to, completely. I mean, I'm sure that that's probably already happening, but I just wanted to say something about that because I was tempted. I was sitting here at my desk, playing with, like, trying to get my audio together last night because I was so upset that I couldn't do a live stream. And I was thinking, you know what, I want to make a petition because a lot of times when I'm doing my own stuff, I'm listening to that umbrella guy and I'm just listening to all the, documentation and everything that he's sharing. And I'm just like, she just doesn't, I mean, I have a feeling she's on her way anyway. But at the same time, I honestly feel like she should suffer a consequence just like any other male actor that's had to go through that. So I just kind of wanted to ask you guys. I don't know. I was a little bit nervous about making a petition, but I don't know why. I mean, it's not like it's out of, like, it's anything that I don't think anybody else would agree with. You know what I mean? And the power of the people and public opinion is just so powerful in itself, right? So anyway, so back to Twitter. There is another petition here, Justice for Johnny Depp. If you guys haven't seen that and you want to go ahead and sign it, I was on change.org, and we'll get to that in just a second. But if you go on change.org and you actually just, Google, like, Johnny Depp's name or whatever, you can see petitions out there, obviously to support him and his innocence and so on and so forth. So how I just retweeted this is I just put, I decided to post this petition, and then, do "We Love You, Johnny Depp," Justice for Johnny Depp, the whole thing. So not sure if you guys want to go ahead and check out that petition, but that's what I was looking at myself. So a lot of this, you guys, is from yesterday, so I'm not going to get into this too much. So what we're going to do is now we're going to jump over and we're going to go through the Explore. Also, you guys feel free to follow me on Twitter if you want to. I'm brand new on Twitter, so I don't have that many followers, but I'm trying to be as active as I can every day. So as you can see, Saturday Night Live, it was Post Malone and Selena Gomez, and I don't know this girl's name, but I know I've seen her. She has a show on Hulu or on HBO, one of those. It's pretty good. I've seen it. I don't know who that is, but that's what's going on with Saturday Night Live tonight, in case you guys want to check that out. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to see what was trending today for Johnny Depp. And how I do it is I just go ahead and see what hashtags are going around. So Christopher Melcher is a California divorce lawyer who has been tweeting a lot about this lately. He also appears on Annie Signor's channel quite a bit, Popcorn Planet. So just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know Christopher Melcher. So he says legal experts say fan support of Justice for Johnny Depp on social media means nothing. That's nonsense that people support counts. I think that Amber Heard's PR team is going hard and trying to influence as many big outlets as possible to, kind of give some kind of reverse effect or something on all of the positivity and support that Johnny Depp is getting. But as he stated, if you guys remember in the beginning of his testimony, he didn't really, he said no matter who wins, I just want to clear my name. You know what I mean? And honestly, nobody really knows how this is going to turn out. It'll all depend on cross-examination. And I want to talk about that as well, because I want to go ahead and take, before my live stream ends, I know some of you guys may fall asleep on me, unless you just have insomnia and you're just up looking for someone to watch. But their Legal Bites, Alita did a video on what cross-examination is, and I did want to take a peek at that really quickly and do a reaction to that, because I will be watching Emily D. Baker's stream, just so you guys know. She's kind of more, I like Legal Bites a lot. I really like Alita a lot. But I really like the style of the way that Emily D. Baker expresses herself. I've been a fan of hers. I found Emily D. Baker last year, and I really like her vibes. I really do. I think she's really fun to watch, and she loves the cursey words, and she's always got her flavored whiskey, that she's drinking when she does her Friday night lives and stuff. So check her out. I know she's quite a large channel, but I don't know. I mean, people say don't promote other people's channels, especially the bigger YouTubers. But if you like someone, I just believe I'm really a firm believer on support in general. Especially if you find someone that you really like and you are eager to see all their content that they put out. So another person that's come up to step up and really defend Johnny Depp is Robert Downey Jr. If you are around my age or in somewhere in your 50s, then you know that Robert Downey Jr. has had his run of challenges in his career, and it's just really nice to see that he's standing up and really saying something, and defending his friend. So I'm going to go ahead and retweet this. Did I already tweet this? I don't think I tweeted this because we're in the actual Explore page. But there was a meme out there, or one of those pictures with words or whatever, not funny, but like he was saying, I've known him a long time and I do believe he's innocent. And I just appreciate any celebrity that's coming forth, to support Johnny Depp, because I think it's really important. Something's going on. Let's see. Depp's pal Gina Duders. Amber Heard is a sociopath show pony trying to destroy him. So she's coming. This was on page 6. Actually, it was 9 hours ago, so it looks like it was maybe a headline from Friday. Colonel Hertz also has a great video out. I saw it. It's a letter to Amber Heard. If you guys haven't seen that video, I would highly recommend checking her channel out. I will leave the channel names in the description box, and then you can just find the video. So that's kind of how I'm doing my channel moving forward. If we do any reactions or any kind of our thoughts and comments on someone else's content, because I like reacting to other content creators, videos and stuff. So I am following Keanu Reeves, so that's why he comes up so much. But anyway, so I just wanted to see what was hot on Twitter and, just kind of share with you guys what's going on. If you're not on Twitter, I'm new to it. So for me, it's been kind of interesting to, figure out the way things are working and what's trending. It did look like there were big headlines this morning for Britney Spears. Unfortunately, Britney Spears has had an unfortunate circumstance with her pregnancy. So my heart goes out to her because I know that is not easy. I know she really, really wanted to start over, right? By, having another child with her fiance. So hopefully, she'll be able to get well from that and maybe try again in the future. I know that, sometimes with those misfortunes like that. I don't want to say the word because I don't know if YouTube has got scanners and we end up getting reprimanded for that. But I do know that it's not all lost hope, even if you go through an experience like that. So my heart goes out to her and I hope she gets well. All right. So that's kind of our Twitter coverage. I mean, we could go deep. We could do more, but we're not gonna. So let's go ahead and now we're going to pop over to change.org. So I was on Google last night looking at all the petitions that were out there because, there's been so much talk of this petition for Amber Heard to get removed from Aquaman 2. And I was just curious. So you can go on change.org and you can actually look under a topic. And so this is the current petition that they're talking about for Amber Heard. It's at 4,127,331 supporters at this point. So it's a little over 4 million. Then they've got some, those are the signatures. Replace Amber Heard with Danny DeVito. I don't know why some of these petitions are funny. But anyway, if you look up her name, it's gonna show you all the petitions available that are, related to Amber Heard. So, but there is a petition out there. I did want to say it's not as large as the other ones, but remove Amber Heard as a ambassador for DA. So, or DV, I guess. But I would say that, you know, if you're for supporting removing her from any of her sponsors or whoever's, you know, however they say that when they're working for a company to promote their product, there is a petition out here for L'Oreal also. Um, and then there are some petitions out for Johnny Depp, in justice for Johnny Depp. So here's the petition. Here's another one when it comes to Disney, because I know a lot of people have been wanting to boycott Disney for this. So, you know, like I said, you can go on to change.org and see if there's anything on here that you want to support that is actually, you know, worth supporting and has a good cause. Um, they're saying recast her with Dr. Curry. Isn't that funny? Oh my goodness. Remove Don Hughes from psychological organizations. Now that's something to think about, but that's not really a it doesn't look like it's a wide supported petition, but anyway. So, anyway, I just thought I would share this. I don't know how many of you guys have are familiar with this website or have looked up any of these petitions, but there's that. Now, I also wanted to share as well that I'm going to go ahead and put this back on myself. So, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I do know that Johnny Depp has now gotten. I think when the trial started, he was at 10 million followers, I believe, on Instagram, and he is now at 16 point something million. So if you guys are not supporting Johnny Depp on IG, I would highly recommend that you do that, just to show your support and such. I do know that they said that I think he's banned or not able to be on Twitter. So that's unfortunate, but at least you can support him on platforms such as Instagram. Now, there hasn't been any talk on Facebook, and I definitely don't, y'all, I'm trying to stay away from Facebook, although I will eventually make a Facebook page for my podcast here. But right now I'm trying to learn Twitch, actually. I mean, my brother and my son have been on Twitch for some time, and they did talk to me about being on Twitch, and I just was putting it off because it's like, it's really hard to, hey, Bobby, how are you? That Amber chick, yep, I totally agree. But anyway, so if you guys know anything about Twitch and you want to give me some pointers on Twitch, let me know. I also joined Patreon a couple of days ago. I don't know much about that. As I said, I'm a brand new streamer, so I don't know exactly how to support my stream or how to get it more, like, grow it and all that stuff. So if y'all want to share my video or like it as you pop in and pop out, I would be so grateful. And if you want to subscribe, even better. I am going to be streaming tomorrow to totally bring all of this to a wrap. Since y'all, we're getting ready to go to court. We're getting ready to go back to court. You guys got your have your seatbelts on, have your popcorn and your snacks and all of that ready, you know. When it's me, it's like, I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's like a big tall, like, thermos kind of cup, you know, of coffee. Then I got my water. Then I got my snacks because I don't want to miss anything. You know what I mean? And I have the time to go ahead and listen to the I only have Monday through Thursday because I have my grandkids. But even when they were here, though, because I started watching my grandkids on Thursdays and Fridays, and I'm like, oh, I gotta miss it. You know what I mean? Although the depositions have been kind of hard to follow because they were so boring. But if you guys did not see my previous streams, I would highly recommend that you check them out, because we started out. Let me give you a quick recap on our halftime. My halftime show was, I started out just starting my stream. I think I started last Monday. So I started out just kind of sharing my thoughts with my brother and my son. You know, wanted to get two male perspectives on what's going on, and then mine. My son is 29, my brother's 32, and I'm 50. So I kind of wanted to see all, you know, because I feel like no matter what happens with this thing, I feel like not only has it humanized celebrities in general, just that they are just people, but at the same time, it's been very, very interesting to have so many people of so many age brackets chime into this and, like, share their thoughts about this, because, you know, everyone's been in relationships and everybody knows how challenging those can be. And some of us have had some experience with some very challenged people, if you will. So I mean, you know, I that's why the second day, to move on, I talked about the battle between the two psychologists. Let me know in the comments below, you guys. Were you pro Dr. Hughes or pro Dr. Curry? Let me know in the chat. I would love to hear that. I did go over, Dr. Curry's, a little bit of her testimony and a little bit of Dr. Hughes' testimony, just to kind of see what I thought, because like I said, as a new streamer, it's very difficult to kind of get exposure right now when you're kind of, trying to be seen. And that's why I chose to, start streaming on multiple platforms to see if I could get some following here. But knowing a little bit about narcissistic abuse and narcissism already, when I saw Dr. Curry, I was really happy that they chose that format to lay out that, kind of that things to look for prior to Amber Heard taking the stand, just to explain those disorders, the histrionic and the BPD, I'm sorry, and, just giving you an idea versus what Dr. Hughes was talking about when it came to PTSD. Because if you do know, usually I believe that the average person, either has had some kind of experience with PTSD within the family or friends, or if you know someone that served, then you kind of, and also, there's been a lot of cases in the news and stuff, some dramatic events that have happened with PTSD, and some, just crime stuff that's happened. So PTSD is one of those things that I, in my opinion, seeing her and listening to the audios, let me know in the chats if you guys have heard all the audios. I'd really love to know. Did you listen to them on your own time? Have you just watched snippets? Or, how did you feel about the audios yourself? Have you had a chance to catch up with them? Because we've had this week in between. But I just really am glad that Dr. Curry laid some kind of blueprint for us for by the time she got up on the stand. And then, Ben Chu, after her testimony on Friday, remember he announced over, I think it was last weekend, that she was going to give the performance of her life, and she absolutely did. So, and it's just funny, I feel like everything that's come out of her mouth, it's like the minute something falls out of her mouth, then we see like actual evidence, that she did what she just said she didn't do. You know what I mean? It's like, it's been mind blowing, right? About that. And also, did you see the behavioral panel? I know a lot of people were waiting for that evaluation for the top, behavioral analysts in the world. So that was really cool. They dropped their video Friday in the morning. So if you haven't seen that, I will leave that in the description below, but I would highly recommend that you go ahead and check out their video. It was very, very interesting. Anytime I see the language, body language, analysts like do videos on her, I think it's really interesting because I feel like I learn something new all the time. But yeah, and then the third stream I did, which was Wednesday, was, I think we went over to Incredibly Average's channel, and we listened to the first part of the original story of all the events that we've been talking about here in this case. So if you guys haven't seen Incredibly Average's video, I would highly recommend that you check out his channel. The videos that we watched were 3 years old. They were made fresh when the divorce was started. And so we watched part 1 on one day, and then Thursday we watched part 2, which actually I felt was really important to watch because of the way that he did the videos. We kind of had a reaction to that, and the way that he kind of set the story for us, because I know sometimes when you're watching something like this, I feel like the trial is just so long and so many people come and go that you just can't keep track of all the information that's being thrown at you. It's kind of like being trained for a job, right? Like you learn so much in your training, but you don't actually get it until you're, actually doing the job. So it's just been so much, and it's been overwhelming, and you're just like, oh my goodness, give me a Kit Kat, you know what I'm saying? Because I need a break from this. My last live stream, I had Kit Kats for my background because I thought it was funny. And then, I don't know if you guys saw, but also my last, I highly recommend that you also see one of my, I think it was the stream I did on Wednesday, which would have been whatever date that is, the 11th or something, where I reenacted her, when Johnny Depp slapped her around, and I felt like I did a pretty good acting job on that. I know I made somebody laugh in the chat that day. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of how I went through it, And tonight I just wanted to kind of put a little bit of final thought on it. And before the live stream ends, we're going to watch this small video from Anita about cross-examination. I think that's really important. Now, tomorrow I will be live streaming about 5 p.m. Pacific time, now that I got my audio all intact. And I'm going to talk about what I hope to see this week. And then after that, I'm going to be playing a interview from Professor Sam Vaknin, which actually goes into narcissists and all types of them. And I think it's really important to go over that before the trial starts again, because he talks about female narcissists and the way that they behave. Now, I understand some of you may not be, into psychology like that, but I am. I have listened to this particular interview about 6 times in my life. It's a 2-hour interview, so we will watch it on 1.5 times speed, probably. But I think it really teaches a lot. And whatever it is, if you want to come back and hang out with me, and if it's Sunday and you have the time, I would highly recommend grabbing something to drink, get a snack, put me in your ears. You don't necessarily have to watch it. Like, you can hang out with me and watch me, but the video itself is in audio. So but I do want to talk about it. I want to play it and stop and discuss it a little bit and associate it with this case, because I feel like there are so many people that throw the word narcissist around and narcissistic abuse around and don't really know what that really means. I feel like, just like the term gaslighting, and there's been so many things that have become trendy, and I think a lot of people just don't know how to put that together when it comes to actually dealing with someone that just really isn't like healthy minded. You know what I mean? And I did kind of cover that a little bit also in one of my past live streams, and I kind of got really serious and kind of broke it down, because not only are we talking about a relationship that was really turbulent, but at the same time, there was just such a great age difference between the two of them, and you have one person that has one type of personality that's the extreme, and another person that's another extreme, and and there's no balance there, because each one of them have their own challenges on top of this relationship that was kind of lost. It was kind of defeated before it even got started, honestly. We all know that happens a lot with relationships when one of the partners are older, and I did talk about the traditional possibility of like just how the world and how times have changed. I mentioned in general and in short how it used to be, and this is where the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Johnny Depp, I believe, is 58 now. I know his birthday is like just a few days away if it hasn't already passed. I think his birthday was May 9th. And so I think he's 58 now. I believe he's 58 or 59. I'm not sure. You'd have to Google him to see. But he's just a really passive person. But you can tell in the audios the difference in maturity. Yes, part of it was immature, for sure. There's no doubt about that. But it just goes to show, older partners and younger partners. And where I was going with that is it used to be in the older generation that if you stayed in a relationship that was challenging, that it was a noble thing to do. It was worth fighting for, and that it would iron itself out in the future. And you would get something even better, in the end. But nowadays that has kind of turned, and it's like if you don't know when to let go, then you're kind of judged as not knowing when to let go and when to walk away, and why are you hanging in when they clearly don't, you know what I mean, when it's clearly not working. And so there's all this misconception and kind of confusion about when to actually walk away and when not to. And, I'm very pro-therapy. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm very pro-therapy. But at the same time, a relationship that has a vast 30-year difference, honestly, let's face it, what kind of real longevity does it really have? You know what I mean? Because the planets are too different. They're just, it's just, black and white make gray. You know what I'm saying? Like there was just no future in that. And I talked about also in the last couple of live streams, I've talked about actors that are known to date women that are younger, such as Caprio, I've said, such as um, Cooper, Bradley Cooper. Although he's not that old, but I mean, I'm talking about actors that are looking for, actresses that are just beyond, the kind of age difference, and I know love has no this and that, but I'm just saying, you have to be realistic, because when it comes down to it, if you don't have two people that have something that they can bond with together, in my opinion, then there's no hope for longevity, right? Because you're just, I mean, it's kind of like a lot of people have said, that maybe at that time in his life he was going through a what do you call it, a midlife crisis, and she was looking obviously for someone to spoil her, and he was really well known, and he was famous, and not just famous, but like a list, so she knew she'd have it made, and I think that she's not stupid, and I feel like he wasn't unwise. I just feel like he was just going by his feelings, but also that has a lot to do with personality as well, so I just feel like if you listen to those audios very closely, you can just tell that it, they're just like night and day. It wouldn't have mattered how old they were, honestly, because she won't ever change, for one thing. She just won't. Narcissists don't change ever. They don't ever. So it's like, and he's I feel like even though he had his challenges and his battles, I feel like he still, organically is genuine and kind. He to me, I don't know him, right? But it would make sense to be practical to think that empaths are usually the type of people that they feel what everybody else is feeling, and they put other people's needs before their own. So therefore, they lose themselves in some sense, because they're oftentimes caretakers, and they just don't focus on what they need. You know what I mean? They focus on doing things for others, and I feel like when you get someone that is just really heavy in their personality, they're very aggressive, I guess I could say. It's really hard sometimes to break away from that, especially with narcissists, because they're so freaking I feel like they're just very, very they're relentless. They don't give up. They never ever uncle, ever, ever, ever. They have no boundaries, and they do not uncle. So no matter what you do, or how you're trying to get them to see the good in you, or get them to see some part of you that makes you different, or that makes you special, that's not the way they see it. They see that you're weak, and they like to mock that, and they like to take advantage of that, and they like to taunt that. You know what I mean? And it's just different. But there are many. What I don't know, if other people know, is that there are many types of narcissists. There's not just one type. That's the thing, and there's a lot of terms that come within the narcissistic realm, if you will, that I do believe that people are not familiar with, and that's why I want to do Sam's interview. Sam's interview it's just unbelievable. But the only thing about listening and commenting on Sam's interview that I will say is that you have to have a lot of patience, just like you do with the Depp Heard audios, because they are long, and they are very. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard went in loops all the time. And I mean, you could just see him trying to reason with her, and trying to use logic and being practical with her. And she did not want to do that. She insisted on going in circles and trying to blame it on him in some way, that he wasn't being reasonable. And I'm not saying that walking away from, some kind of solution is anything that you should do. But when it comes to that kind of relationship that they have, there is such a thing that I don't know if a lot of people have researched or read about, and that is responding and not reacting. A reaction is something that is immediate. You know what I'm saying? It's just immediate, and you're never supposed to react, because you need to take time to marinate and think about what's going on before you actually act. And I think that's what I believe, since we're talking about this and this kind of response, that is also something that I think a lot of people didn't understand with Chris Rock. I think, obviously his team was guiding him on what to do, obviously, but I think so many people were wanting him to come out and say something and do something and this and that. And he's smart. He was really smart, He was smart to just lay low and not say anything, address it very calmly and very vaguely in his show that particular weekend, and, just wait. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like when you're reactive, that's when, things just get worse. And I think that that's one of the things that, and I'm sure all of Johnny Depp's partners have learned about him. And probably there were a lot of them that appreciated that about him. Because I don't know about y'all, but I myself, when I was younger, I was feisty, and I was married young, and we would have these exchanges, these battles of the words all the time. But after a while, you get older and you're too tired. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to like go in circles and raise your voice, and you want to walk away for a second and take a beat and just go, you know what? Let's just talk about this a little bit later, or whatever. And as relentless as she was in those audios, it's just like, man, I just kept thinking, and I did talk about this in one of my live streams because my live streams have been so long. When I started live streaming, I knew I wanted my live streams to be at least 2.5 to 3 hours long, if not longer than that. And, I could see, why he wanted to step away. And like I said, his previous partners probably appreciated that, because when you do have a disagreement, both of you need a minute. You need a minute to figure out how to fix it. Because there's people that just focus on the problem, and then there's people that like solution. You know what I mean? There's people that appreciate people that just want to get to the solution. And I think, those are the people that you want to be around, because then you actually get somewhere. But for someone that's argumentative and that just wants to be right and just constantly wants to, be at war all the time, it's like, to go through that so redundantly every day, all the time. I mean, how could you even find yourself attracted to that person anymore? It doesn't matter how beautiful the person is on the outside, or how, in shape they are, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Even the most beautiful people can become ugly. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way that they act, and the way what they say, and how they behave. And so I when I listened to those audios, as many as there are, it was just, you could just see him pleading with her, like just on and on and on, just going, man, just, trying to get a hold of her, like just trying to, but then on top of that, though, another thing I want to say about narcissists is they mirror people to mock you. So they learn, that's the thing I've learned about narcissistic abuse, which I did not know before, is that when you get with someone like that, that's very manipulative and they become, it's like they target people. So that's what they do. They target the people that they know they can get what they want and what they need out of them. So they use you pretty much. They don't care about you. They don't love you. That they don't know how to do that, period. So when you meet someone like that uses you, they are also studying you to become like you. It's really weird. And they're very envious of the way that you are. If you're a natural, nice, honest, compassionate, empathetic, very kind person by nature, because you can be kind and generous and humble and be assertive, but not aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these types of people prey on people that are pleasers. But that's not to say that each party has their own responsibility in the relationship for whatever is kind of unacceptable, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we're all fully aware that he had issues, right? That he had substance abuse, But from what I heard from those audios, I heard that he was trying to get his feet on the ground. And obviously, he's been addicted for a long time. And that's why it was very nice to see, Robert Downey Jr., step up, because he's been through it all, and they're about the same age, I believe. So I do believe that, that I think he's had a lot of good support, and I feel like even though he's going through this and his life is on blast, I still feel like he's got enough loving support, to keep him right, because man, I'll tell you right now, could you imagine being across the courtroom? I mean, being the plaintiff, let's just pretend. Could you imagine being the plaintiff and watching someone that you knew very well, that you were married to, that you were close to, told your most intimate secrets to, say things about you like that? Girl, damn. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's pure evil right there. I feel like that is pure evil. But you know what they say about money? And you know what they say about fame? You know? And that's the difference between someone, I feel like if you research Johnny Depp's background, that's the difference between that he fell into this profession rather than someone that was hungry and that was sought out this profession. That just wanted to be in the spotlight at any cost. You know what I mean? And that's what's so great about hearing his story, because that's not, not to say that he wasn't as hungry in his life to be a musician, but at the same time, you know what I mean? He fell into acting. He said it. He said it himself. I didn't like come into this expecting to be as successful as I was, but I'm grateful. That's why when he was saying up on the stand that he was just uncomfortable to say, I own an island, that in itself kind of just makes you like just go, he's the real deal. You know what I mean? Like he's someone you want to support, in my opinion. Now, there's a lot of people out there that might say, oh, he's over, he's acting as well, and he's one of the the greatest actors of all our time or whatever. But at the same time, I still feel like there's such a sincerity there. And I don't feel like, let me know in the chat or let me know in the comments wherever you're watching this, if you thought any part of his story was inauthentic. I would just be curious to know. Now, just because I'm saying that doesn't mean that I don't believe that Johnny Depp had his part in that relationship. And I believe that through his testimony that he said, pretty much out loud that he has not been, proud of his, of some of the things that he's done or said or whatever. And, of course, some of those things I feel like he has to say. But at the same time, I feel like when I was watching all this unfold in the beginning, and I would really love to know if anybody's watching this or if anybody agrees, but were any of you guys fans of Monty Python? Because when I saw those texts, I did think that they were obscure and abstract. I did think that they were, kind of out of the ordinary humor. But like, if you've ever seen interviews with Johnny Depp has been one of those people, but also if you've ever seen an interview with because I used to think Nicolas Cage kind of had the same kind of energy when he was giving, an interview. There's a few actors out there that have a little bit of obscurity to them when they're interviewed. So I feel like I didn't think that he was weird or anything, but I did notice right away on social media how people were noticing that a lot of those texts were Monty Python quotes, which I would have never known that. Like, let me know if you feel the same wherever you're watching it, because I didn't know that. I wasn't familiar with Monty Python. I know who it is, and I think my dad actually, because my dad used to watch a lot of British TV when I was young, and I do know that he did like Monty Python. I'm gonna sit back a little bit, but I don't know his material enough to quote. Like, let me know in the chat if you guys know Monty Python quotes and stuff like that. But I don't think that it made me feel like those texts were literal. Like, I know those texts did not sound good. Okay, I know they didn't. But even when they talked about the little conversation about the book, the Bloody Bath or whatever, I forget what the book was called. Let me know in the chat if you guys remember, or on one of the platforms if you remember. But the way that I read that text, even as it was being read, was just, they were referring to obviously some kind of inside something, and she was like, yeah, we need that book. You know what I mean? So for me, I didn't take it as he was being any, attacking her or whatever, with his words. I mean, I didn't even, I'm sure tons of people felt that way, but as a viewer, I didn't. I mean, I did think, obviously that some of the texts were, come on. But I mean, I didn't think those texts were literal, and I feel like, boys will be boys, girls will be girls. Come on now. It doesn't matter how old we are. When we have friends or when we have close people in our lives, we say things to our friends that we would normally say to other people, or we say things to our loved ones because we trust and we confide in them, you know. So I just don't think that that those were that damning. I mean, obviously they weren't appropriate. I'm not condoning what he said, but at the same time, I don't think those texts were meant to be literal at all. Now, when it comes to the bed and the knife, okay, that was a completely different context. Why in the world? I mean, okay, so let me also, here's another good thing to ask y'all if you come across the live stream, is that, I mean, it didn't, like, obviously if you know someone that has like a unique like collector, like if someone that collects, all kinds of different stuff. So I don't know how I felt. I mean, obviously she said that he was a collector of knives. Okay, I got that. But it was a little odd to me to engrave that on it, even though she wanted it to be endearing. It just, to me, was a little weird. You know what I mean? It just was a little weird. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but for me, it was a little bit weird. And there was something else, because she did say, it's funny too, because this I don't know if you guys know, but there's a channel out there called Johnny Depp, and they're running some loop interview of his. I forget what it's called, because I know someone mentioned it on the That Umbrella Guy live stream, and he said, yeah, it was fake or something. But I think pretty much someone just, I don't think they expected any of us to think it was live. I think they were just trying to promote, a good time in his life when he had this interview and he was talking about filming Pirates, and he was talking about knowing, what's the guy that made all the movies with him, Sweeney Todd, and what's his name, Tim Burton. He was talking about all that stuff. So to me, it wasn't weird. You know what I mean? Like that someone was running a live interview on a loop. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think anything negative of that. I mean, I don't know if someone's trying to, maybe he was referring to it, That Umbrella Guy, maybe he was referring to it as like maybe someone was trying to monetize off of that, possibly. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, I just think her giving him the knife was just weird. I don't know. It was just creepy. And then we heard the end audio clip about, her saying, that one's not sharp enough, let me give you one that's sharper. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, dude, that's just weird. It's just, oh my God, this girl, I try to keep a fair level head, and every single time I try to think about it, I'm just like, she did not just do that. She just not just do, and oh my goodness, this girl right here is a yeller. Like, if you heard that 4-hour tape or 5-hour tape of them, she just is and she can go from like level 2 to like in the red. You know what I mean? While and it's so weird about him, because he just stays even keel. He always stays even keel. That's what's so weird about him. I mean, I know that there have been audios where he's upset or he's raised his voice, but in the majority, I feel, of those audios, he is being pretty logical. He's being pretty fair. He's not screaming at her. I mean, he is pleading for her to get out of his way so he can leave. And she is constantly relentless, saying, all you ever do is leave. That's why when she was on the stand and she was talking about, I followed him here, I was trying to get away from him and he was following me. Okay? Really? You really want us to believe that now? With all the freaking 12,000 hours of audio you have out there? Are you for real right now? Anyway, but you know what? On a side note, I did want to say it's kind of nice to see Nick Cage getting all this press right now. Have you guys seen that? He was on Stephen Colbert, I believe, and he was on Jimmy Kimmel. He was making the rounds. I don't know if he's made a new movie or not, but it was kind of nice to see him out there in front of the spotlight. That was kind of cool. Justice for Johnny Depp is actually trending tonight at 11,000. So that's kind of nice. I've got Twitter up here on the left-hand side. But let's go ahead and dive in to this cross-examination video from Alita, who is from Legal Bites. I do watch LawTube. Let me know in the chat if you guys watch LawTube, because I know I do. I need to, excuse me, I need to stay up on the jargon, on the legal. I want to know like what the legal terms of the case mean, to see actually which side is doing well. So I've been really keeping tabs on LawTube. If you guys did not see Law and Lumber's video on the bed and what his theory of the piece of wood that was falling off the bed. Remember, she said that Johnny Depp broke with his boot while there was a knife like right there. That's an interesting video. So we might have time to get to grab that one, because I don't think it's very long. I think it's like 15 minutes or something. Let's look at Alita's video first, and let's see what she says about cross-examination, just so we can kind of have a really good idea of what cross-examination is going to look like and the goals for cross-examination next week. I think that's really important to kind of have a side note and kind of really have an idea of what the goals are for cross-examination. I think that's really important. So let me grab Alita's video, and then we'll watch her video, we'll comment on it and see what we think. And then maybe if we can squeeze it in, we will watch Law and Lumber's video. I do like watching other YouTubers' content on this, you guys. I like to comment on it. I like to put my opinions on it. So if you guys hang out with me, you will be seeing, anything and everything that I find is interesting. YouTube is a huge population of content. I don't see anything wrong with sharing who we like, or if we find something educational. I don't see any problem with sharing that. So that is my style. So I just want to let you guys know that. But let me go ahead and grab Alita's video. Now, I do want to say this as well. I don't want to stop sharing the clip of Richard Grannon. Also, I've been playing that every single time I come on air. So before we watch Alita's video, we will watch Richard Grannon's video really quick to just keep our minds fresh about the histrionic, because I think it's the narcissist test actually. It's only 3 minutes. It's very, very fast. So let me go ahead and play that while I look for Alita's video real quick. And that's just something I want to keep fresh in your mind. Let's see, so that you can take this with you. And that way, maybe you can share it with a friend or something. I love Richard Grannon. I've been following him since 2015. He's been on YouTube a very long time. And let me go ahead and share this with you. It is only 3 minutes, I believe. So let me go ahead and put it up here. I just want to make sure I got it. Okay, let me see. Let me put it up here for you.
Psychopaths, narcissists, borderlines, and histrionics all play this game. The appearance of being a victim, the appearance of being frail and fragile. How would you recognize this? Okay, here's a way of recognizing it. Remember at all times that what you are dealing with is a performance to elicit a response from you. Take one person, take what I just said, put them together. Think of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 examples where they behaved in a certain way that elicited a response from you that caused you to serve them, that caused you to give your stuff, your time, your attention, your money, your things, your emotion, your sex to them in a way that you wouldn't have done if they hadn't asked you. They implied it. They made faces. They sighed, or they did weird stuff with their meta communication, their body language, to get you to do what they wanted you to do, which is to serve them in some way. Psychopaths, narcissists, borderlines, and histrionics all play this game. The appearance of being a victim, the appearance of being frail.
So like I said, if you are interested in following Richard Grannon on IG, I highly recommend that you do that. He actually makes a ton of short videos like that. And he really will educate you on what to look for, if you ever meet someone that's just kind of it's just not coming together for you, and you feel like something's just not right. Trust your instinct, trust your gut, and most likely he'll teach you how to find what you need. All right, so here is the cross-examination video. We're going to go ahead and listen to this and see what we think and talk about it. So let's go ahead and watch this. And this one is only 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and stay quiet and we'll listen to this.
Let's talk about cross-examinations. Hey everyone, welcome to Legal Bites. If you're new here, my name is Alita. I'm a lawyer licensed in California and DC, and on this channel, we explain the law one bite at a time. So in this video, I want to do just a really quick breakdown of what a cross-examination is, what are the goals of a cross-examination, and who does them, all the kind of basics so that you can understand what exactly is going on when there's a cross-examination happening in a trial. So a cross-examination happens after a witness has been examined on a direct examination. The direct examination happens when usually the friendlier attorney calls that witness to help his or her case. And then a cross-examination is when the adverse party gets to ask those questions of that same witness. Now, I say usually because sometimes you can have the more adverse party calling that witness because they kind of are forced to, but generally speaking, think of it in those terms, at least for understanding the basic concepts. So the goal of a cross-examination is basically to draw out whatever information you can from a particular witness that kind of pokes holes in their direct examination, the testimony that they were just able to give that sort of fills some sort of a narrative that helps the other side. And by poking holes, the attorney that is cross-examining the witness is going to want to pull out information that either shows their bias.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. We lost her. Oh no.
Or shows their logical inconsistencies, or that it admits that they have left out certain important pieces of information. And the way that an attorney does this is by asking leading questions. Now, if you have an understanding of a direct examination, you understand that on direct, you're not allowed to ask leading questions. And that's because you're supposed to give the witness all the space in the world to basically give their own narrative. If you do start to ask leading questions, you will draw objections from the other side. On the other hand, during a cross-examination, you kind of are basically supposed to ask leading questions for the most part. Now, a particularly skilled attorney can get away with not asking too many leading questions. They can use other methods like style and tempo and, charismatic kind of elements to control a witness. However, for the most part, the easiest way to control the witness.
Oh, you guys. This should not be happening.
Through a cross-examination is by asking the type of questions that will keep them from explaining too much. And that typically is going to be exactly leading questions. Now, if you aren't familiar with what a leading question is, it's basically a question that kind of supposes the answer. In other words, usually questions that are going to end with a yes or a no response. Now, you may have gotten this by now, but basically a cross-examination is really all about control. On cross-examination, a witness is usually going to be a little bit stressed out and they might be kind of in defense mode. So any kind of opportunity that they usually are going to want to try to explain, try to elaborate, try to sort of get their side of the story out, despite the framing of the questions by the opposing attorney that may kind of seem a little bit unfair or just overall adverse. And because of that, the attorney that is actually doing the cross-examination is going to want to sort of narrow down the scope of their questions into questions that really don't have any kind of vague words that will basically allow the witness to elaborate. As a rule of thumb, as you're watching a cross-examination, if you feel like the spotlight is really turning to the witness, that means that they are taking control of the cross-examination. On the other hand, if you feel like the spotlight is pretty much on the attorney, the jury has turned their attention almost exclusively to the attorney, then it's probably a relatively successful cross-examination. Now, that said, one of the biggest pitfalls for a cross-examination is when the attorney goes in trying to win on every single point. Now, the likelihood of winning a cross-examination is usually pretty low, and the likelihood of having a viral moment coming out of a cross-examination is also incredibly low. Typically, what the attorney is trying to do is just to pull out information, like I said, to draw out on bias, draw out on logical inconsistencies, omitted information that is perhaps relevant to the case, and basically to draw out those points so that they can then use it in the not the cross-examination rather, but the closing arguments. And that's because at the end of the trial, the attorney or attorneys will basically put everything together into one single argument and say, remember when this witness was on the stand and they initially testified to this, but then on cross-examination, they attested to XYZ. And that actually really helps our case because of these reasons. Now, if you've been watching the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial, you may have noticed some critiques of various forms of cross-examination. And you may have noticed some attorneys getting noticeably frustrated during their cross-examination of a particular witness who has not relinquished control to them. And while I can definitely empathize with the frustrations of an attorney who is losing control of a witness and trying to somehow figure out how to regain that control, at the end of the day, it is up to that attorney to ask questions. Any witness who is testifying in court can't just testify out of nowhere. They have to testify in response to a particular question. So as the attorney on cross-examination, initially the power rests in their hands, and it's up to them to craft their questions in such a way so that they don't relinquish that control. And really what that comes down to is breaking down bigger questions into much smaller questions so that they aren't vague and they really leave very little wiggle room. As an example, as a cross-examining attorney, someone could ask the witness if she had agreed to pay $500 for particular automobile mechanic services from a particular mechanic. And the witness might want to wriggle out of that and say, well, I agreed to pay for services, but not these particular services. But what the attorney can do in that kind of a situation is point to a written agreement and say, okay, well, you had an agreement with the auto mechanic, yes? Yes. And that agreement said that you were going to pay $500 for services. Yes. Yes. And you would agree that that agreement also said that those services would include tire replacement and tire rotations. Yes. Yes. And ma'am, you signed that agreement, didn't you? Yes. And then the attorney could turn to the services that were actually provided and say, well, ma'am, the auto mechanic in question actually did rotate your tires, didn't he? Yes. And that auto mechanic also changed the tires around entirely on your car or something, right? Right. So basically, all of that is intended to break down this agreement between the witness and the auto mechanic in whatever agreement that they had, so that the witness is forced to either agree with the subparts that the attorney is asking her about, or to essentially look entirely unreasonable in front of the jury by trying to wriggle out of questions that are pretty reasonably succinct. So what do you think? Do you have any questions on cross-examinations? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, linked to this video will be a video on the direct examination and the redirect examination. So if you haven't seen it already, be sure to check that out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this, or at least found it informative. And if you did, I would love it if you could hit the like button. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm gods. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can find out when the next video is uploaded. See you in the next video.
So let me get rid of this. Okay. Let me just make sure that I mute that just in case another video comes on. So from what I saw, and I don't know if you guys agree, but from what I saw, I know that when I watched quite a bit of the streaming of the cross-examination of Dr. Hughes, I think they were a little bit disappointed, it seemed like, in that it wasn't a stronger cross-examination of Dr. Hughes, if I'm not mistaken, because I know that she slipped up, if you guys remember, and said that she had seen or witnessed any previous abuse, I believe, or something like that from Amber Heard in the past or something. And so I do believe that they were waiting and hoping that that would have opened the door to for Johnny's team to bring in past relationships. But then it ended up, I guess, not being something that the judge allowed, if I understand correctly. So that was kind of a a disappointment, but also I believe that a lot of the attorneys that were LawTube that was commenting on the cross were just not, they weren't that happy with it. But the great thing about that was that Emily D. Baker, I really liked her opinion of it because, like I said, we're not attorneys, right? These people that are people like me and like you probably that are just trying to learn about how this process works. And I feel like, you know, we're just trying to understand what's going on between the two because there's so much information being like, you know, released as we're sitting there and as we're trying to keep up that we don't really kind of know without LawTube what side is doing better, right? I mean, we don't know yet. So it's been really not really good. And it was also what I like about LawTube, and I don't know if you guys agree, is I like the fact that like they all have kind of a different opinion of like what's going on between the two teams. Like it was very interesting to see Alita, who is Legal Bites, her team, like her panel team that was commenting on it, that she had several attorneys coming in and out, you know, from the time in the morning before the trial started and then at breaks and then all the way up until the end when they recapped the day, versus Emily D. Baker, who also had her opinions on how the cross was going. So when she jumped in to their group, you know, their panel discussion, it was very interesting. It was really interesting because I was originally watching Alita's panel and them, you know, being not very happy with the way the cross was going versus Emily D. Baker, who had a very much different opinion on how it was going and what she thought was done well and what she thought, you know, could have been stronger, I guess is a way to put it. So I've been really enjoying LawTube. I've been enjoying the variety of attorneys that are speaking on this. And it's just, I feel like it's really helped the public understand the way trials work and the way, you know, the plaintiff versus, you know, the defense and all of that. So I really enjoyed that. I don't know if you feel the same. Do you watch LawTube? Let me know in any of the comments on any place I'm streaming. Yeah, so I mean, I've just learned a lot. I've been trying to stay in tune, you know, to listening to all of their different opinions on what they feel, how it's going. So it's been very, very interesting, you know, to learn each person's opinion, you know. And then on top of that, it's also speaking of legal bites, excuse me. It's also been really, really cool to see her know some attorneys that didn't have channels, because there are people that appear on her show that only do Twitter, that don't have channels. This Rob Law and Lumber, who didn't have a channel and was very, very like he was on Twitter, but he was commenting on the trial but wasn't a YouTuber, and now he's a YouTuber, which I think is pretty amazing. I mean, it's really fun to see so much support to encourage someone to do something like this. I've always had a passion for YouTube, and I always just get really excited when people support it and encourage others to try it. And look at his channel now. So let's go ahead and visit Rob's channel, only because he did do a theory on the bed. So if you haven't seen Raw Law and Lumber's channel, we're going to just listen to his theory on the bed. This also has to do with what we're going to talk about in the weeks to come. So that's the only reason why I'm covering it, because I think it's really important to listen to the theory of the bed. When he talked about it, his video went viral immediately because no one was talking about the bed situation, you know. So I really am excited to share this. His video, y'all, it just came out 5 days ago. It has 634,000 views because he's debunking the broken bed. So let's go ahead and watch this and then talk about his theory. I do know that I did recently take tours of the penthouses. That was my last live stream, if you did not see it. And I found it to be very interesting. And the reason why I wanted to visit these penthouses is because although there are videos such as Incredibly Average, Brian, his videos from when this first started and how he's kind of pieced together the story and included animations and, you know, real pictures and documentation of everything that went on regarding these particular incidents, I just find it to be, I wanted to actually take a tour of the penthouses personally to see them so we would know what they're talking about in court, because a lot of times they're showing pictures and we don't really know. I mean, there's 5 penthouses, you know what I mean? And I know when we looked at Amber's demand from the divorce that she wanted penthouse 1, 3, and 5, it was like, we know the numbers of the penthouses, and even when she had Elon Musk over and when she had, you know, what's his name? James Franco over, like they're speaking of these numbers of penthouses, but how are we supposed to know which ones they are? Do you know what I mean? And then on top of that, another reason why I wanted to share the stairwells is because they keep talking about this famous argument that we're actually going to hear now in the next couple weeks about Whitney and how he was supposedly trying to push her down the stairs or whatever, which we know isn't true. But at the same time, I was thinking, what freaking stairwell are they talking about? You know what I mean? And also this famous penis like painting. Where is it? Where is the penis painting? She keeps talking about it, but where the hell is it? Like, I'm like, all the pictures, it's like just mysteriously disappeared. So just another example of good old Amber and how she tells her stories. So let's go ahead and see Rob's video, because I just think it's pretty awesome. So, and also, you know, it always helps to see something a second time, because you never know what you're going to miss the first time. So we're just going to hear the debunking of the broken bed, and we'll see what you guys think. So if you're popping in on Twitter or Twitch, let me know in the comments underneath the live stream what you thought of this video. Have you seen it? Are you subscribed to Rob's channel? Have you ever heard of him? You know, if not, I would highly recommend that you do check out his channel, I guess. I mean, he's brand new. Even me, like, I'm not trying to plug him. I'm just saying his theory on this story is pretty good. So let's go ahead and take a peek at this video. So let me go ahead and make sure and bring it up. This time I'm going to be here with you guys. So let me just go ahead and put myself this way. And then here is Rob's channel. It's called Law and Lumber. So check him out if you want. I know I did. I haven't subscribed to him yet because I'm using a different channel, but on my main channel that I'm streaming from, I'm actually subscribed to him. So let's go ahead and listen to his theory on the debunking of the bed, and let's see how we feel about his theory.
Hey guys, welcome to Law and Lumber. My name is Rob Morton. I'm an attorney in Northern Virginia, practicing in the areas of domestic relations litigation and consumer bankruptcy matters. I also have a secondary passion in woodworking and custom furniture building, as you can probably tell from the shop where I'm coming at you from. To those followers that joined after watching me appear on Legal Bites, Nate the Lawyer, Uncivil Law, Hogue Law, Good Logic, or all of the other various LawTube channels, thank you so much for joining in. Without the support from you and the immense support from that LawTube community, this channel quite simply wouldn't exist. On this channel, we're going to tackle a little bit of everything, from legal analysis to building some custom furniture and maybe a few DIY hacks along the way. Regardless of where the channel goes, we're going to try and keep things fun. Okay? Now, let's jump into it. Many of you might know that I've been covering the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial taking place in Fairfax Circuit Court. It happens to be just down the road from here. As you might know by now, Johnny Depp has filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against his former spouse, Amber Heard, stemming from a December 2018 op-ed piece in the Washington Post, in which Depp claims that Heard implied that she was the victim of domestic violence at his hands. Depp has accused Heard of perpetuating a hoax to get him canceled while elevating her own notoriety. That forms the basis for her $100 million countersuit for defamation on those grounds. So today, I want to talk about one specific claim that Amber's made in connection with the incident that she alleges occurred at Johnny Depp's Los Angeles penthouse condo on December 15th of 2015. Amber alleges that she and Depp were fighting and that Depp dragged her by her hair through the apartment and eventually ended up headbutting her. Amber, at that point, told Depp she was leaving him and turned away. She then alleges that Depp pushed her onto the bed in the second bedroom, pushed her face down onto the mattress, and that he put his knee on her back and other foot onto the bed frame while punching her in the back of the head repeatedly. She alleges that this, the foot on the bed frame, caused the bed frame to splinter or break, words that she used interchangeably in the UK and the US litigation. She then states that she can't remember what happened next, only that she remembers some time passing and her friend Rocky Pennington coming into the room to find her on the floor. Here's the issue I noticed when listening to her testimony on this specific incident. The bed, quite simply, could not have broken in the manner that Amber describes. But we can get to that a little bit later. First, let's listen to Amber describe the scene, or at least identify the photo so we get some context for what we're about to see.
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, I move the admission of defendants 509.
No objection.
All right, 509.
Will you please tell the jury what this is?
That's the bed that Johnny broke. Well, on top of me.
Okay, so now we have the photo that identifies the bed itself. Let's take a closer look at that and see if we can't see some more information about it, or at least get a little bit more context, okay? Okay, so she's identified the photo. So this is what's in evidence in the Fairfax Circuit Court trial. This is also the photo that was introduced in the UK trial. Now, this photo tells us a bunch of information about the bed itself. One, we know that this is the foot of the bed. We know that from a photo I'll show you in a second here. You also know that this bed is constructed via essentially timbers. Most beds you will see will be a 3/4 inch rail that will meet directly into a post and footboard. Instead, this appears to be a platform bed using rustic timbers to give a chunkier feel to it. We also know this because Amber described it as being very, very heavy, which you'll hear a little bit later. But let's see if we can't learn any more information about this particular photo. So here's something that we discovered in the Fairfax Circuit Court case, and it was discovered incident to various motions to compel and motions for sanctions regarding the metadata that was released. The metadata indicates that this photo was taken on December 16th of 2015. Now, you'll remember that Amber described the events as taking place December 15th in the evening. This photo was not taken until the very next day. Now, let's take a closer look at the bed. This photo was taken from the virtual tour that was provided when Johnny was selling that condo. So from this photo, you can actually get a really good idea of the size of the bed and where we're talking about. So down the sides, you can see that those are the timbers. Timber comes, another timber meets, and another timber wraps back. You can actually see here the chunk is still existing. Odd though, this chunk in this photo appears to extend all the way to the edge, whereas the last photo, the chunk looked like it was limited to this area. I'm not sure that's relevant, but it's something worth noting. So one of the questions that I had when I first saw this photo is whether this timber itself was a faux or a fake timber, whether someone had basically created the look of a live edge by creating something that looked like this and then wrapping it to bring it down to the bottom. So a 3/4 inch piece and a 3/4 inch piece. Now, upon further inspection of the photo itself, you kind of learn that there's no way that's actually possible. And let me describe why. So blowing that photo up and then adding a little bit of light to it just to enhance the brightness so we can see a little clearer. You can see that this here, see these dark areas? These dark areas are end grain. Wood, when you look at it straight on like this is running with the grain. This is the end grain of the wood. The end grain of the wood, when you apply a stain, becomes far, far, far darker than the grain itself. The reason why is the grain pores run this way. When you think of a tree is growing up like that. When the tree is growing up, everything in here, all the nutrients have to pass up and down. That's what forms the grain structure in wood. So when you cut a piece of wood right across the top and expose the end grain, you are exposing all of those cellular grain structures that pass nutrients from the earth all the way to the leaves. And when you put stain on those, the stain absorbs faster and heavier into those areas, which results in this extra darkening. So now that we know about the bed, let's see what happens, or let's see what Amber alleges happens in order to cause that break. Okay, so now that we have an idea of what the bed looks like, let's get into the specifics of Amber's allegations. Now, this is the statement that she made in the UK trial. We're going to walk through the relevant portions here. At this point in time, you can see from the top that she is alleging Johnny had pushed her onto the bed and got on top of her. Okay? Now, what you can see is that she is saying that his whole weight was on me, and he put his knee on my back and his other foot on the bed frame. This is the part I want you to focus on. Knee on the back, other foot on the bed frame. Okay? At the same time, he was punching me in the head, screaming over and over so loudly right in my ear how much he hated me. The bed frame splintered, and that's all I remember. She goes on to say that she doesn't remember anything else until her friend Rocky Pennington comes in the room, and she's sitting on the floor after Johnny had left. So that's Amber's statement in the UK trial. This is what the UK court basically found her claim to be. This was taken from one of Johnny's responses to either discovery responses or to the UK court's recitation of Amber's allegations. At this point in time, let's take a look at this.
No boot.
All right. So fight continued on the bed. Claimant got on top of Ms. Heard and placed his knee on her back, similar statement, and other foot on the bed frame while repeatedly punching her in the head. Claimant screamed, we're not sure how we're going to edit this one. I don't think I'm going to leave the profanities in for this particular video. I bleeping hate you, over and over again. The bed frame splintered under the weight of the pressure of the claimant's boot. The bed frame splintered under the weight of the pressure of the claimant's boot. So the UK court is basically saying, per Amber, that the reason why the bed splintered was because Johnny's boot had exerted so much pressure that it caused the timber to actually splinter. Okay, so that's the UK court's recitation of Amber's claim. Now, curiously, Whitney, Amber's sister, also gave a statement. Now, hers is a little bit more interesting. In Whitney's statement, she says that when she got there, the bed was disheveled. She noticed it had a very heavy wood frame, which also supports our understanding that this was a solid timber framed bed, and noticed that it had splintered and there was a chip in the wood. I like this word. We're going to focus on that in a minute here. It's going to make a lot of sense soon. There was blonde hair and blood stuck in the splinter on the bed frame. Now that part, I'm wondering if you guys are asking questions yourselves. It might be explained away by Amber's statement of being leaning against the bed when Rocky got in there, but it seems kind of odd to me. So now that we know what the allegations are, let's do this. Let's hear Amber say them in her own words in the Fairfax trial at Thursday's hearing, okay? This is her description of the incident, specifically focused on that particular time when she is saying that the bed splintered under Johnny's weight. So let's take a look at this.
I was sitting on the edge of the bed, on the carpet of the floor against the broken frame of the bed, and there was a low-lying bed with a really thick wooden frame, and it was broken from his boot trying to get a purchase on it while he was...
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
I could feel it. Overruled.
Thank you. Please continue.
I was there for it. And while he was on top of me, I could feel that. I could feel him trying to get balance. I could feel him slipping. I could hear it.
This girl and
I don't know how I got off the bed. I don't know what happened to me from the time I stopped hearing myself scream. I don't know what happened to me. It's a really weird feeling because next thing I remember is leaning against the broken part of the bed and on the carpet, and my friend saying, "Oh my God,
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Sustained."
Okay, so that's the relevant part of the testimony for our purposes. Now, the thing that I found curious about that one, well, one, let's go ahead and clear up the fact that Amber testified there that her head was leaning against the bed, which might explain why a blonde hair was in the chip on the bed. But the most interesting part of that testimony is her testimony saying that she could feel it, that she knew and that she was there. The reason why that's interesting to me is because, one, her face was down per her own testimony. Her testimony was that Johnny was pushing her head so far into the covers that she was muffled. She felt like she couldn't breathe, and his whole weight was on her body. Remember the statement earlier, knee on the back and foot on the bed. Yet she testifies that she can feel him squirming around, or at least trying to gain purchase on the bed. Now, this is important because it also gives you an understanding of where Johnny's boots are and how Amber reaches this conclusion that the boots somehow caused the break in the bed. We'll just have to explore it. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to actually do a little baby mock-up of this bed, and I'm going to explain to you why, given the bed's construction and the description that Johnny's boots actually caused that break, that this testimony is, for lack of a better term, complete BS and not possible. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a little mock-up of Johnny's bed. Now, this is done with 4x4 pine, which is a little bit smaller, but still the same material that was Johnny's bed. You can tell it was pine. You can tell it was pine because if you look back at those photos, you can see the width between the grain. That gives you an indication that it's a softwood rather than a hardwood. A lot of hardwood you will see will have tighter grain patterns. So now with these timbers, what you're going to see is that in order to get the timber, they generally have to cut almost a full tree. The larger the timber, the larger the tree. But generally, they're all going to be this particular pattern. We're going to have the circle, the very center of the tree, towards the center of the timber. Now, this is relevant when we start talking about how this is alleged to have occurred. So we have our two lengthwise posts and then the footboard of the bed. Now, per Amber's testimony, If this is the mattress where my hand is right here, then Johnny's feet are here on the footboard trying to, in her words, gain purchase. Now, the interesting thing about the gaining purchase is it kind of illustrates the problem here. Grain, as we discussed earlier, runs this way. These are very tight concentric cellular, or tight cellular structures. Imagine if they were, let's say, call them straws. If everything here was a straw running in this direction, and let's say that you wanted to divide those straws, you would actually have to put something in between those straws and wiggle and pry your way in.
Busted.
Now, the reason why that's important here is because with this type of wood, and actually with all woods, you need something sharp to get in between those grains. If you put a blunt object up against here, it's just not going to do anything. For anyone who's ever hammered pine, you know that you're going to dent the pine before you ever break it off because you're hitting it with a blunt object. Let's illustrate what Amber was describing as Johnny doing. So, now that we've got it situated this way, what we're looking at is mattress over here, Johnny allegedly over here. Now, I don't have any fancy boots, but I do have work boots. So we're going to try and illustrate what it is that Amber's saying with a Timberland Pro. So we have our work boot. Now, you can see as the work boot goes in, there's no way, given the size of that work boot, that you're going to get anywhere enough pull, period. Just slides right off. There's nothing it's ever going to catch. It's because the tip of the work boot, no matter how sharp it is not sharp enough to cut into that grain structure. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't matter if it's a leather-soled, skinny shoe, unless it's one of those super spy boots that has a kick-out blade, it ain't going to get in between that grain. All right? Let me show you the only way that you can get into that grain. With a sharp object, like, for example, a knife. If I wiggle a knife in here, you can see that I can wiggle back and forth, and I have what Amber was describing, purchase. There is no grip that I can get, either with my hand or a boot, that does anything to dig into that grain that would cause that type of fracture. So let me do one more little thing to show you something. So here's what we've done. We've taken away the long rails, leaving only the footrest. The only fathomable way that I can see that particular break happening, as described by Amber Heard, is something like this.
Boom. She probably did it herself.
The sharp knife is the only thing that can penetrate the grain in order to cause that split. Sharp knife and leverage is the only thing that can make that pop. So when you're looking at wood like this, when you have grain running this way, you see this? That type of break is caused by this. Sharp knife, leverage. And I'll tell you why that makes me very curious. This is why Amber Heard's testimony bothered me that day. Because what I saw was this type of damage, which is what's reflected on that particular bed. That damage is caused by a knife. Now, I'm not saying what this is.
Boom.
I'll leave that for the judge, the jury, and the trial attorneys to decide if they want to argue that point. But to me, I don't know. What do you guys think? Why don't you leave your answers in the comments below? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, it really does mean a lot. This community has been fantastic to me. I very much love being a part of it. I wish to continue being a part of it. And the only way I can do that is by your help. If you haven't checked out the rest of LawTube, please do so. You can reach them via any of the links that you'll see in Legal Bites' coverage of this trial. Hope to be coming to you guys soon with additional information. But anyways, in the interim, thank you for watching. Hope this helps you guys understand. I am just a lawyer and woodworker, but to me, this was pretty compelling. Thanks.
Okay, let me stop that. Now, what do y'all think? Okay, so I will go over to Rob's channel. I saw this video, not yesterday. Well, he just put it out 5 days ago. So I'm going to say I personally saw this video a couple days ago, I guess. So I don't know. You can let me know in the comments on any platform, Twitch, Twitter, or even in the chat if you come by, if you saw this video and what you thought of it. In my opinion, I think his theory obviously makes a lot of sense. The only thing I think I was thinking, which obviously doesn't really, I mean, it still makes sense, but my thing is if she used that particular knife on the bed, What he didn't say or mention is, would the knife be like bent at the tip? That was the thing that I was thinking of. Like, even if she was to like, tap something on the knife to break that little piece at the end of the bed, or whoever, like that Josh guy, or I don't know, whoever did it. I'm curious, like, if the knife itself could be damaged doing that. That's the only thing, because we don't know where this knife is. Where is this knife? Like, we've seen pictures of the knife that she gave him, but I'm wondering, where is this knife in question, and is it in evidence? That's what I'm curious to know. And if so, is it like intact? Is it like flat? From the... That's the only thing, is that I am going to go over to his video, which probably, maybe somebody's asked that already. I'm not sure. But that was what was going through my mind when he was digging in that little end of the piece of the bed. I thought, I wonder if the tip of the knife would have been bent or something, or like tarnished in any way. That's what I was thinking in my head when I saw him, demonstrate that. But I think his theory's pretty good. I mean, my theory is that she could have used another knife, and that knife could have been on the bed. I mean, I don't think I ever, once he explained the type of wood it was and how thick it was, I never thought, because I mean, if you've seen Johnny Depp's interviews, y'all, the type of boots he wears are pretty flat. I mean, I'm not saying that maybe he'd never wore like work steel type boots or something, but even the boot that he used as an example, like, it was more of a steel-toed work boot, and I don't think Johnny Depp really wears those kind of boots. I mean, at least from what I've seen in his interviews, because he does wear boots a lot, but the boots that he wears are more like, to me, they're more flat surfaced. And also another thing to think about as well, which, as I was thinking about this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're skilled in shoes or style, a lot of those very expensive boots, like from, whoever, Gucci or whoever makes his boots, obviously it's going to be probably a designer. But that leather is very soft. So that's why I feel like the soles of those shoes tend to curl a lot. So even if he was to kick the bed, like, and the reason why I'm saying this is because, remember how earlier in the stream I talked about this Johnny Depp live channel that's looping an interview of his? You guys would have to go see it. It's Johnny Depp. It's a channel that has Johnny Depp on it. I'll show it to you right now in case you guys haven't seen it. But I actually, it might be nice. We won't watch his interview or anything, but I will show you this channel, and maybe you might want to go over here and look at this video and just make make a judgment of your own. But they're streaming this live interview with him, and there is a name for the interview for whatever reason, but he's wearing this brown pair of boots in it. And what made me think of this to share with y'all is that when I saw Rob's video, because he did already talk about the story on the LawTube live stream that he did, he kind of told, his story and said, this is what I think. And they were all kind of, saying, wow, that's a pretty amazing, kind of thing. And when I listened to his story, I couldn't wait for the video, because he was like actually editing the video when he was telling the story on LawTube. And so I saw the video. I saw him tell the story on the panel. And then I saw this interview, right? And I was like, at first I thought this interview might be recent, and then I thought, well, no, he can't do that because he can't, you know what I mean? He can't do any press right now. So I was like, I wonder when this interview was. And I guess I found out like recently, last few days or whatever, that I think it's from like 2014 or something. But anyway, he's sitting in this director's type of chair, and his legs are crossed, and he has this brown pair of boots on. And the boots that he has on are designer boots, you can tell, but they are very worn, and the toes of his boots, you know what I mean, are kind of like bent, upwards, if that makes sense. So the boots that he has on in this particular interview are not jagged or anything. So it makes sense what he's saying, because even if he did have an expensive pair of boots on, um, there's no way even kicking a bed with those slippery flat boots, you know, he was wearing. Um, there's no way those boots could break wood that thick anyway. So that's why I was excited to see the video once it was completed, because I was like, okay, he's going to demonstrate actually with, this wood, right? That, um, like, the way he sees, the way this actually happened. So I thought that was kind of cool that he demoed that way. I wonder if they took it down, because I'm looking for it right now just to show you guys, because he's sitting in this chair. And let me see. I think it's live stream at a film festival. I think he's at, what's that film festival they go to every year? Let me see. I'm trying to show you. I want you to see his boots in this interview real quick, so you can see. Okay, yeah, it's this one. Okay, yeah, I found it. All right, so I'm gonna show you just I won't play the video in its entirety, but I want to show you his boots that he's got on. And this is kind of what I pictured in my mind when she was telling the story anyways, because she's always talking about Johnny wearing boots. So let me show you this interview. I'm going to put it on, I'm going to put it real quick, but let me put myself next to this so you can see what I'm talking about. So she said with his boot, right? She kept talking about his boot. And so he's, Johnny Depp kind of always dresses this way, right? He's always got those, like this, I don't even know what you call that, maybe grunge or something, or it's not really vintage. To me, it's kind of, I don't know, to me it's sort of grungy, sort of kind of, I don't know. But see his boots? So you can see his boots there that he's wearing. And this is later on in the interview, he crosses his legs. See, but you see his boots there? Let me go back where they do a screenshot. Let me go back where kind of like right when he crosses his legs. And you'll see his boot. Wait, 1 second. There it is. Oh, crap. Wait, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Oh, crap. Well, later on in the interview, let me see. See, he crosses his leg. Let me see. Let me see, maybe right here. I'm trying to show you the boot. All right, so I know they show it. He kind of crosses his legs both ways. Right here, right here. He crosses his leg right there. Let me see. Let me see if the camera will catch it. But anyway, he's wearing these chocolate brown boots, and I'm trying to see if I can get a better shot of his boot. But anyway, you can tell from the bottom of these boots, and this is a reason why I'm kind of glad somebody is playing this, just because it kind of gives you an idea of the type of boots he's wearing. So I don't know if you can kind of really tell, like, there might be like maybe some photos from this interview. This is the Zurich Film Festival, and I don't know, I think this was in 2014 or something. But either way, you get a good idea of the kind of boot he wears. Probably, I mean, I wouldn't think that, honestly, I wouldn't think that his style has changed. He's kind of set in his ways and his style. And also, I think these kinds of interviews are good to see anyway, especially right around that time, because he's wearing a lot of rings. And as much as she said he hit her, like, wouldn't her face be tore up from all these rings on every finger? I mean, come on now. So, a lot of her story doesn't make sense in general, but I just thought I would encourage you guys to go and look at this interview, because if they do pan out, from him, as he's sitting there, even though this is an older interview, and you can really see his boots really clearly, and it gives you an idea of the type of boot and like the tread on the boot. So I think, see, look, there it is, perfectly. Here, let me blow this up. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can't blow it up, I don't think, anymore, because if I pan out, like if I expand the screen, it'll make it small again. But if you're on your phone or you're on an iPad, screenshot that and blow it up and zoom it, and you can definitely see the type of boots that he wears. They don't even have any tread on them. So imagine if he was to kick the end of the bed the way she's saying he could. Although it is a flat surface of the knife, I still don't feel like this type of boot, especially, you know, it's an expensive boot. This is an expensive boot, probably made with Italian leather. And I still feel like the way that this particular boot is made, there's no way that that boot could have enough pressure on the end of that bed in that groove, the way that he said, to make that particular strip of that bed fall off. That's my opinion. So let me know what your thoughts are if you catch this at this point. So that's what I thought, and it was kind of really weird the way that I had stumbled across this video on YouTube one day, you know, because I was just looking up stuff from Johnny Depp, you know, and the way that the recommended, you know, gives us everything, right? It's going to show, you know, it's going to recommend what you're watching in similar, you know, titles and categories. But this was actually kind of a benefit that whoever's looping this video is looping it, because it actually kind of gives you an example of what kind of boots Johnny Depp wears. So I feel like that's kind of also to tie in to his, you know, Rob's theory of how the bed boot story goes. And, you know, she said he pulled out her hair and da-da-da-da. But I noticed these boots right away. And I was like, wait a minute, those aren't even like heavy steel-toed boots. So, you know, and Johnny Depp, I think he's pretty average weight. I mean, you know, he's not so heavy, you know, even the way that he demonstrated the way that the bed was when he, you know, displayed the way each person would be positioned or whatever, it still doesn't make any sense that there would be that much weight on each side of the bed. So I highly encourage you guys, you don't have to watch this entire interview, but I would highly encourage you guys to check it out just to kind of get a better view of the boots. And I would definitely encourage you to screenshot the boot and zoom in on it so that when they talk about it in court coming up, because y'all, we are going to be tortured with her again. She's going back on the stand on Monday. So that'll be interesting. And everybody's been talking about Whitney, right? Whitney's on her way. She's next, I guess. We don't. I think Whitney is going to testify via video. I don't think Whitney's going to be there in person. So that's another, you know, kind of thing to make note of if you're going to be watching the trial this coming week, and you're caught up. You know, I would highly recommend watching some of the LawTube out there. You know, there is no specific channels that say LawTube. LawTube is actually all the attorneys that have channels on YouTube that you can go and kind of investigate and listen to their you know, assessment and their observation of what's going on with the trial and stuff like that. There are plenty of attorneys covering this story or this trial actually. So there's lots of different types of attorneys you can listen to and see who you want to kind of, you know, chime in on their, you know, their conversation about it. There's been lots and lots and lots of reviews on the cross-examination. The first cross-examination of Dr. Hughes, and there's a lot. Like I would expect, I know there were several attorneys that started doing, I don't know about live streams, but they started doing some, excuse me, some videos today with what they expect to see next week. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk about cross-examination in general, just even for myself to know what it means, what kind of questions can be, I mean, what kind of objections can be laid out there in the middle of cross-examination. And also, you know, there's been a lot of talk of Camille, that she was on fire, the last day of the trial with just objection, you know what I mean? And understanding how those work when a direct is on. So I highly encourage you, you know, maybe tomorrow if you have a leisure Sunday to kind of look up some of the LawTube's opinions on the objections, because there are specific videos out here on YouTube that are there's been a lot of humor videos too. I also I'm going to close out the stream with those, but I wanted to kind of share with you guys Camille's objections first, and then we'll look at some funny videos also. I know it's getting quite late, but I will be on for probably another 45 minutes or so, and then I'll close out. But let me go ahead and share with you guys Camille's objections. Let's see, because I know there's been plenty of videos on this. Let's see. There has been, also there's been like these snippets, you know, like a compilation is what they're called. So this one, here's one compilation, and it looks like in the first direct on Amber Heard, there were 28 times that the judge sustained the objection. So that is kind of cool. Let's see. We've got, there's so many compilations. I was hoping there'd be one that was like less long. Let me see. Let's see. So we'll go ahead and just look at part 1, and I'll 2 times speed it for you, and we'll kind of see this compilation. There's some on TikTok too, but I'm just looking up whoever made the compilation. I mean, it takes time to make these videos, you guys. It's like I commend all these people that are making videos like this because they are hard to make. They're not easy.
He told me about.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Well, we have to be careful about what other people told you, okay? But you can testify to what you know, okay?
Let me
So
see.
what happened then?
Weed and coke.
So,
And then when he finished filming, the plan was to. do the
Objection, Your
closing
Honor.
shots.
Hearsay. Unlock.
Objection. I don't think it is. I think she was just explaining the
Hold on.
context there. I don't think she was saying.
We
what
just
somebody
lay
said.
foundation how she knew, but it's fine.
How did you know that?
I was involved in the conversations with the doctors and with his sister.
Objection,
And
Your Honor.
next-
That's still hearsay.
All right, I'll
Okay,
sustain the
that
objection.
part is.
objection,
so,
Your Honor. Hearsay.
What happened next
Hearsay.
as a result of these communications without saying what the communications were?
A nurse came.
Objection, non-responsive.
Non-responsive.
I don't think it's non-responsive. She's explaining what led up to her tape recording and why. I mean, I can ask her, well, that's all. What?
And he would not remember. And if.
Calls for
She doesn't
speculation.
remember. I don't recall. But then
She
I
didn't say-
remember. But
she
then I
didn't say
don't
what she-
remember.
why she
Then I
did it and what
recall,
she
but then I
thought.
That's
don't
it, that's
remember.
not called speculation. I'll
Don't
sustain the
say,
objection.
I knew. Why did you tape record?
In my experience, when Johnny was that inebriated, he would not remember what he had done.
Calls for speculation.
How can that call for speculation?
I'll sustain the objection.
All right, let's go
I'll
to defendants
sustain the
221.
Objection, Your Honor.
Get up off the couch,
Objection, Your Honor.
and Johnny's son says.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
You're not offered to prove the truth of the matter. It explains what's coming.
Objection, Your
I just don't know.
Objection, Your Honor. She's on it, man. I really hope that this cross is like super. I hope that it's as exciting as we want it to be. Anyway, we won't watch the whole thing,
He's
but
just like,
Objection,
I'm
Your Honor.
waiting.
Non-responsive.
It was either speculation,
If the question
non-responsive,
was, with whom
hearsay.
did you go?
if we could ask the question.
So now
Tell
let's
us how you felt
see
and what you were
let
thinking
me,
in this process of whether to go to have Christmas with
we're
Mr.
gonna
Depp
look-
and his children.
and see.
No, I guess I was trying to explain.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on one second. We're going to look. Let me stop this real quick. We're going to look and see how many new videos have come today of the objection. Let's see. Johnny Depp. What should I do? Depp trial. Funny. Funny. Let's just do funny, because I don't know how people are posting them on TikTok. I haven't really seen. I know there was one that came up in my feed today that was just funny. It was like animated. So let me see if I can find you guys something really quick. I should have had these ready. Oh, have you guys seen the animated ones? Here, let me see. Depp trial animated videos. I don't know. I'm guessing. There's been a lot of funny. Oh, here's TikTok. Where's the one that was on reenactment? Oh, there's this one. Have you guys seen this one yet? This one's new, you guys. This one's new. Have you guys seen this one? This is funny. Hold on. You'd think as late as it is that I would be able to, like, get my... Let's see.
In my face. My back turned towards him.
I don't know why we can't hear it.
And he said,
Adopted.
Johnny.
This is my dog's
Johnny, yes, Papa. Eating.
I didn't realize at the time, but I think he was using cocaine because it was like there was a jar of cocaine.
I lost audio.
And then he walked out of the bedroom.
I lost
I walked out
audio.
of the bedroom,
Unless
and
they,
he slapped me
I wonder if they
in my
silenced it
face.
though.
My back turned towards him.
They're doing that to like a bunch of
They said,
on YouTube.
Johnny,
There's
John,
a lot of
yes, Papa,
people that are
eating sugar.
doing,
Oh, wait, what was it again? No, that's not the right one.
compilations and
I
stuff
said, Johnny, you hit me.
on YouTube. So
You hit me.
I don't know why it's not.
In the
Oh, wait.
face.
Did I do that? Oh,
My
wait.
back was towards you, but you hit me in the face.
And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph.
What was the photograph of, Mr. Depp?
It's a photograph of the bed, our bed. And on my side of the bed was human fecal matter. So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there.
The whole trial summed up in one sentence.
Well, I lose my balance. At this point, we're sitting next to each other on the edge of the couch, or I was on the edge of the couch. I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I was never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before, and I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react. I just sat.
I didn't think that was very
He
funny.
made a mistake with me, and he didn't want
The animated ones, though, you guys. Oh my God, they're so funny.
It was just kind of a surreal experience, and it just went away. That just got fixed. We walked out of the trailer at some point. My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the bed. I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before, and I just didn't know what else to do. My dog stepped on a bee.
Objection, relevance. Are you familiar with Amica cream?
What is it?
Amica?
Amica?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Well, when you say no makeup, you don't know she was not wearing makeup, correct?
For a fact?
Correct.
No.
And you don't know whether she had applied Amica cream, correct?
No.
And
I didn't even know what Amica cream is.
Do you know whether she had applied any Amica cream that morning to her face?
No.
And do you know whether Amber had any Amica cream on that day?
No, I don't.
Okay. And again, do you know whether she was wearing any Amica cream?
She's got.
Sir, if you could just answer
I'm
this
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry. I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
sir.
That, no.
No.
My dog stepped on a bee.
My dad has to pee.
Buy one, get one free.
I didn't think that was that funny. The animated ones, though. Oh my God, the animated ones. Oh no, what's this? Oh no. Let's watch this one too. These are hilarious. I just like the animated ones. They're the best. Let me see. Her face. This poor judge. She's like, I don't even. She's like.
And what is your profession?
I am an actor, mostly.
Okay. Now, why are you here?
I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
And how do you feel about that?
I struggle to have the words. I struggle to find the words to describe how painful this is. This is horrible for me to sit here for weeks and relive everything. Hear people that I knew, some well, some not.
But you don't know if it's humans, bots, my cat doing the searches, correct?
Objection asked and answered. Sustained. Next question.
Now,
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
July 12th, 2017. Why are...
Objection! Objection! I have a message for Amber Heard. Amber, I just would like to... Oh! I thought you were going to punch me. Now, I'm only joking, but why did you sleep with Elon Musk? Cloud chaser!
Amber was never abusive.
How do you know?
Because
Because you are a feminist. Johnny Depp has made over 90 movies. And you, fucking Aquaman.
TikTok.
All right, your next witness. I would like to call Laura Amber Heard to the stand. All right. Amber Laura.
When she
I was
called
walking out of the
Dr.
bedroom, slapped me across the face. I turned to look at him, and I said, "Johnny, you hit me. You just hit me."
Why the fuck did I hire you? Why did you hire me? Why did you shit on his bed?
You know, and then on the carpet, it was so filthy. And I looked at him, and his eyes were black. And I wanted to penetrate. I wanted to penetrate through those black eyes. Sorry, just 1 second. And then he said, "Hurry the fuck up with this testimony." Probably.
Oh my god, I like her. She's
Johnny.
funny. She's funny.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
Oh god, she had to get in on it, of course. Ugh. Okay, so I wanted to show you that more or less for the animation, just because I thought it was so funny. But I don't know why I can't find. Oh, you guys saw this one though, right? Like the one with this one where the one that she was reenacting. There was a couple of them that were really good.
My dog stepped on a bee.
Amber's telling lies about me.
And I got up in my car. I walked to the car. I didn't say anything. I made a point to not say, "Oh, it's okay," or anything like that. I just didn't say anything. I got up. I went to the car. I sat in my car, and I felt like I sat there forever. I didn't want to turn the key. I just leaned my head up against the window, and I remember just seeing my breath on the windshield, you know, on the glass of the window of the door, just seeing my breath and trying to will myself to have the strength to know what I should do in this moment, because I was heartbroken. And I sat there for a long time, and I eventually
These TikToks, man,
turned the key and drove home.
I wouldn't even be like, smart enough or like crafty enough to make one of these.
Do you know my clients?
Don't know.
Isn't it true that your relationship with my client is entirely platonic?
I don't remember.
Would I be accurate if I described your relationship as totally professional?
I don't know how.
It's not your relationship with my client, boy! Yeah, baby. Did you ever make Did you?
It wasn't him. It was black.
Liar!
He's badgering the witness.
It's his witness.
I've never been so scared in my life.
These TikToks, man.
I realized at the time, but I think he was using cocaine because it was like there was a jar. A jar.
A jar. A
Look
jar.
what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
Now, you know that Ms. Heard was...
Excuse me. I
I'm
didn't
sorry?
hear the beginning of what you started saying.
I said, let's start with the makeup.
Okay.
Okay. Are you familiar with Amica cream?
What is it?
Amica?
Amica?
Yes.
No.
Okay. And you don't know whether she had applied Amica cream, correct?
No.
And
I
you-
didn't even know what Amica cream is.
Do you know whether she had applied any Amica cream that morning
Johnny.
to her face?
No.
And in any of those 3.5
When?
years, do you know whether Amber had any Amica cream on that day?
I don't know.
Do you know whether she was wearing any Amica cream?
Sir, if you could just answer
I'm
this
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry. I'm
Thank you,
sorry. That, no.
Oh my god. It's arnica.
I noticed he was drinking Beck's and tea. Like lots of tea. Like lots of tea. And I didn't foolishly think anything of it. I just, you know, thought the man really, seriously, I missed it before, but really loves tea.
Never ending.
He took a handful of pills, and I didn't count how many, but when I came back downstairs, I did the math on the amount that was left, and I think it was either 8 or 10, I can't recall as I sit here now, either 8 or 10 pills of MDMA.
That he had taken or that were left?
I remember we had a conversation about the amount that he took. So I remember saying, you
Objection,
took-
hearsay.
Okay, I'll sustain the objection. There were only a few left in the bag, so I think it was what he took. And I said, Johnny, objection, hearsay. He confirmed that he took that amount and that he could take that amount.
And what amount?
At this point, there were 10, he had taken 10, 8 or 10, I can't recall.
And when you say
I remember he came into the trailer and looked around and was like, whoa, what happened here? Whoa.
Where? What happened here?
He was drinking a lot of tea. Like a lot of tea. Okay.
Drink tea. There's lots of tea.
Johnny grabbed her wrist and kind of twisted it and pulled her into him and said, do you know how many pounds of pressure it takes to break a human wrist? Huh?
Just about a couple pounds of pressure. Snap your wrist.
These are crazy.
Welcome to our home. You know, Amber, give us a smile, dear. Perfect. Follow me. So as I mentioned, this table is Italian. And Amber, no, stop, no, Amber, no, not on the couch. I'm sorry, everyone. She's learned. I'm not about to take you where the magic happens. Spend $30,000 on these sheets imported from Egypt. Probably the best sheets I get. Amber, what are you doing? No, come on. We talked about this. Stop. No, she just needs a little bit of TLC. Come on, to the bathroom.
So, let me minimize my screen real fast. So I want to tell you something. So, there is a let me get out of here. What am I thinking? Let me see. I think it's I'm stuck in here. Hold on one second. Okay. I think it's because I have myself, like, there we go. Woo! I almost blinded myself with myself. There is a photo, well, actually 2 photos that are surfacing. They're leaked photos, apparently. So there is supposed to be photos of her squatting on the bed. So I don't know if they're not real. I don't know. But should we look it up? I don't know if that is real or not, but let me try Google. Cuz if these pictures are real, they're supposed to be new leaked photos, like just from, I guess, recently. I don't know. You know, it's really hard to tell what's new and what's old because, like, I know a lot of this stuff, audios and the whole thing were, like, leaked some time ago. So it's like once they came out, I think they're just being revisited. So let's see. Let me see. We'll see. Everything is online. It's so weird. Like, even all the documentation that you can find online is insane. I'm looking to, I don't see anything available. So let me, oh wait, is that it? No, that's the, I'm looking to see if I can find this picture so I don't bore you with, like, let's see. Let's see. Anyway, I saw someone, God, oh my goodness, this poor man. I swear, you guys, this poor man, like, all these photos. Oh, and did you know that he's being that Amber Heard is being investigated for the dogs? That's on Twitter also. I was going to tell you guys about that when I first opened my stream, and I forgot to tell you, but she's being investigated for, and I'll tell you specifically right now. Okay, so it says, Australian government charge Amber Heard with perjury. So this is what's weird about this, and I'll show it to you right now. Here, let me put myself aside from the screen right here. But I don't know, honestly, how well this is actually going to go over because so many attorneys say that perjury is so hard to prove. So I'm not really sure how successful they're going to be with that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm curious to know if they're even going to, like, get anywhere with this. For some reason, I am trying to show you, and my screen is not going to, it's Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Adding myself to the stream would be smart. There I am. Girl, get with it. It's like 12 here, so anyway, so I saw this video on YouTube, and let's see, new leaked photos. I'm not going to share another video with you, like, watch it. I'm just going to share with you the thumbnail of it because I feel like it was kind of weird. Like, obviously this person, was able to, wait, no, new, oh yeah, Amber, let me see. Let me see. This one was someone who did a video and they just had this particular shot, this guy right here. So we're just going to look at his channel because I don't think we can see it while he's talking. I think we have to look at his gallery first. But this is what he had. See? He has see that right there? It was a let me see if I can expand. I don't think I can expand the screen any bigger, but you see he has a photo right there of her squatting. So I don't know where some YouTubers are getting their photos from. Obviously, if they know somebody, then that's probably how they're retrieving these photos. But there is literally a photo of her, or at least that appears to be her. And he used that as a thumbnail, and it says new evidence. So I only saw that in my feed, and I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, wow. So it was kind of interesting to see that, but yeah, that's just, there's always something coming, in the feed that's interesting about her. That just keeps, things just keep sometimes I feel like things are surfacing for her worse than, I mean, Jay obviously has already kind of shared, that like he's not perfect and all that kind of stuff. And he, at this point, he doesn't really, he's been pretty upfront, it sounds like. So, I mean, or, from everything we've seen. So, oh, this was also interesting as well. Her getting makeup, I guess. New unseen photos from Amber Heard makeup artist prove she's lying. So let me see. Let's look at this one. We won't play the audio on this, but this is kind of fun just because I've never seen any of these videos ever. So it's kind of interesting to share and see some of the stuff that's floating around on the, this is that Umbrella Guys video. Somebody used his footage. Oh, Inside Edition. So I think they show her getting some kind of prosthetic makeup or something for Aquaman, I guess. But let's see. It shows her getting makeup on here somewhere. Let's see. I know there's going to be a makeup artist, I believe, that appears next week. I'm not sure who the next witness is. I know she'll be Cross, which I think will be probably most of next week. I know Ellen Barkin is supposed to be a witness coming up here. If you want to know, actually, that'd be a good thing for us to do. So we're going to nix her for a second. Let's see if we can find the witness list for her, because I know you can pretty much find anything on the on Google, actually. So let's see if we can find Amber Heard's witness list, and let's see who's coming up for her. I know if you're not really following a lot of YouTube channels and stuff, you may not know who's coming next, but I do know that a lot of her witnesses ended up withdrawing, as you know. So let's see if we can. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it. Everything is usually pretty much available on, we're going to look at images. And it should show us who's next. So here is the witness list. These are Johnny Depp. Let me see. Let's see if we can look at one of these documents and see It shows her specific witness list or his specific witness list. Who's this for the plaintiff? Yeah. Okay, so let's open this one right here and see what we can see. Oh, this one's on Twitter. I was just on Twitter. That's weird. Let's see. So let's go ahead and look. Oh, this was Laura. Laura posted these. So here is the witness list, if you guys are curious. This came out on March 16th, so this was before, right? Some of the witnesses were now announced that they're not going to be. But anyway, here's her entire witness list, if you guys can see that. Let me expand the screen so you can get a good look at it. But here is her witness list. So she has... They are going to call Johnny Depp. They are going to call him, it sounds like. It looks like. Julian Akart, I don't know who that is. Catherine Arnold. Adam Bercovici. Not sure who that is. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. Because remember, this is from March 2022. So we don't know if all of these are going to be coming forth or not. But Aaron Falati, I think, isn't Aaron Falati the makeup artist? Possibly. I'm not sure. Whitney. So this is her sister, Whitney. And I do believe she will appear via video. And Dawn Hughes, which already took the stand. And then someone named Alan Jacobs. So there is one more photo. Oh gosh, look at this. Jeez. Michelle Jordan, Brandon McCulloch, Richard Moore, Ronald Schnell, David Spiegel, and that's it. So Amber Heard has posted her witness list. Okay, so this is just keep in mind with these people that you see on this list, if you're going to screenshot it, that this was in March. So this was before the trial had started. So, but I did want to also mention that there will be information, I believe, that could not be subtracted, I believe, or it's still going to come out, I guess. Custodian of records, corporate designee, Pegasus Elite Aviation. Maybe that's from the flight. I don't know. Custodian of records, corporate Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers. I know that I heard, because I watched The Umbrella Guy, and I know that he said that Warner Brothers was doing everything to stay out of this. So again, remember, just keep in mind as I'm reading this, that this was all back from March 2022. So I don't know if any of this is valid now in May. So, just keep that in mind. William Morris, Endeavor Entertainment. Let's see, American Civil Liberties Union. Oh, someone's coming from Children's Hospital of so these are records. So business records declarations. This is what's going to be coming to the surface. Disney Motion Pictures, apparently. I don't know if this is still, something that they're going to have involved. Just keep that in mind, like I said. So yeah, so if you want to screenshot this, I'll give you a couple minutes. You guys, give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and I smell something burning. I think it might be outside. I smell like fire. So I'm not. I think it's coming from outside though, because I have a window open. So that's kind of weird. It's really late here, so that's kind of late to smell fire. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys so you can see this. I will leave the link to Laura's post in the description box if you do want to, I don't know, take a look at it, at another time if you see this on the replay. But yeah, it was a long list. It was a really long list. And as you know, Johnny Depp's case did rest. So they rested last Tuesday, not last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before that. So Amber Heard will take the stand for one more day for direct, I believe, because they haven't talked about Australia yet, I believe, 2016. And then she will be cross-examined. And then I believe the next witness after her is Whitney. So it will be very interesting to see how, the next week or two plays out. They only have until the 27th, if you guys do not know. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys before I go ahead and wrap up the stream, because I think I'm going to go ahead and probably wrap, because I do smell fire and I don't know where that's coming from, and I feel a little concerned. So I want to go ahead and investigate that. It is coming from outside somewhere, but I just want to make sure it's not coming from our house because it's in the middle of the night. But I do want to say that there is a new schedule for court. So if you guys are interested, I would definitely look up on YouTube this coming week's new court schedule. She did announce it. The judge announced it. The last day of court, which was not this past Friday, but the Friday before that. I do believe that court will resume at 9:30 Eastern time. And will go till 5:30 Pacific time. I'm sorry, 9:30 in the morning Eastern time, and we'll go till 5:30 Eastern time. Sorry about that. I'm getting I'm getting confused. But that is something that you might want to go ahead and just note to yourself if you're working and you want to hear the court session on your break or on your lunch, or if you're just going to catch up with afterwards. There is a new schedule this coming week, so be ready. I would definitely check out YouTube tomorrow, or actually later on today, because it's already midnight here in California. But I'm sure that a lot of people will start talking about what to expect next week. So I highly encourage you guys to check out LawTube and see what the attorneys are saying that we should be expecting for next week. And yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream tonight. I hope I was able to kind of, make it a little bit fun. Those TikToks out there are killing me. I have to say that, especially those animated ones. There is a animated one that I thought that I did a post on Twitter that I will close out with. It's kind of like comic booky, if that makes sense. I sent it to my kids this morning because I thought it was kind of interesting, but I don't know if I can. I just don't have it like straight away saved. So, and also I highly recommend as well, before we resume for court, that you guys watch the Gone Girl video, and I highly recommend that you revisit the Gone Girl video before we resume for court. Because it will help you make a lot of sense as she gets up there again. So I will leave that link, that video linked in the description box, as well as the behavioral panel's analyst and assessment of her testimony, because that was really interesting. I highly recommend you guys see that. I can't seem to find that animated video right now, but if I can find it, I definitely will link it below. I think you guys should see it. It's kind of funny. It's one of those objection hearsay animated videos, because it's really funny. But that's it. And then tomorrow's show will start at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and it will be long. I will have a long live stream tomorrow. I'm going to be playing the Gone Girl video first. In its entirety. I will stay quiet, and then I will comment on the video, and then after that we will watch Sam Vaknin's interview. So we will talk a little bit about what to expect in terms of what I think you should keep your eyes out for when she's on the stand, when she's being cross-examined, because once Sam Vaknin breaks down the type of narcissists that exist and how they how the female form of narcissists act, including those who are histrionic and those who have BPD, I think it might benefit you as to her studying her behavior as she, goes ahead and, we'll see what her behavior is like and her verbiage is on the stand. But I just really think it's super important for me to cover this interview for those of you. So we're going to watch the Gone Girl video first. well, first we're going to do our Twitter highlights because that's going to be part of our show permanently. We'll see what's floating around on Twitter for the first 20 minutes or so, and then we will watch the Gone Girl video, and then we'll comment on that. We'll watch that nice and close, and we'll really try to beam in on the story and the way that she's narrating it. And then after that, then we'll listen to Sam Vaknin's interview, and I will leave the link below. Everything will be in the description box prior to the live stream taking place, so you guys can really hear what he has to say. But I will tell you guys that if you are going to stay for that, join in, and I really hope you do. I will say that it is quite a long audio interview, and I will stop it as I go, just to kind of tell you the way that I'm understanding the way he's explaining it. But at the same time, it is kind of seminar-ish, if you will. I mean, it is an interview, so it's incredibly interesting. And then I also want to just kind of put some feedback into that in terms of my reaction or my theory on what he's saying, in terms of how I see what he's saying. And I just think it's just an incredible interview. And you probably won't get most of what he's saying. You probably won't get like the most out of the interview from watching it with me, but I will leave it in the link below so that you guys can see it again after I kind of go through it with you. And then maybe you can, see, hopefully it will help you, just understand the types of narcissists and narcissistic behavior in itself. And that way you have a clear understanding. So when you see some of these things going around on the internet, you know what I mean? And they're just kind of throwing these terms around and stuff. The one thing about my particular journey when it comes to researching stuff like this is I try to find people that are most educational and very serious about the topic, and that way I can get the best knowledge out of what they're saying, to share my thoughts about it as well. And because I just take this really, really seriously, especially with this case, because I just think that all this is just, it's a lot, it's a lot. And I still feel like, even though it's years later, I still feel like she's not really, I don't think she fathoms what she's done. And I don't think she really cares, to be honest. I don't think she cares what's going on. I don't think she cares that the world hates her. I mean, I think she feels the heat. And I think on the surface, she's crying to the people she knows, and she's upset about the way the world sees her. But I honestly, when it's all said and done, this girl's just going to make sure that she's taken care of for the rest of her life. She's going to make sure that she's financially taken care of, and we all know what they're saying about this baby of hers. So that's why she's in it for her own personal gain. She's not, I don't think that she cares about any of this. I think she just wanted to make sure that she could ride this wave, as best as she could, with as many organizations and as many people that would listen, and as many perks and benefits she could get by, sharing this fake story and fraudulently, getting all the fame and the recognition for it. So that's a reason why I think it's just really, really important to share Sam's interview and to watch the Gone Girl video. So stay tuned for tomorrow. I will be on at 5 o'clock Pacific time. That is 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hopefully, if I have any changes, I will put it on the community page, or you'll see the post. You'll see my actual live stream scheduled. I'm actually tempted to do it at 4, where it's 7 Eastern time, because I know it's Sunday and people do work Monday. So, I've got 3 hours of content to share with you guys, and I'm trying to make sure that I do it early enough to where you guys won't get, kind of like, oh, I got to go, I have to work tomorrow or something. So if you see it posted earlier, I may even do it at 3. I'm still pondering the time. So it'll be sometime between 3 p.m. Pacific time and 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 6 p.m. Actually, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 p.m. your time if you're on the East Coast. So it'll be somewhere between, 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. my time. So hopefully you guys will tune in and you'll get some education out of this very serious topic. I know a lot of people are, making fun and, doing a lot of things that are comical and things, but when it all comes down to it, this was someone's life, and this was a lie that was told that is going to now monkey on someone's back for the rest of their life, that would just blatantly, obviously, with all the evidence coming forth, that just wasn't true. It just wasn't true. And it goes to show, how much damage, words can do without even proving that they are, factual. So I hope you guys tune in for tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out if you did catch this at any point. So good afternoon, good morning, and good night. If you catch this from another side of the planet, I guess. And I hope you guys stay safe and stay well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, either at 3 p.m. Pacific time or 5 p.m. Pacific time. So just stay tuned on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube. And I will definitely make sure that that is posted ahead of time so you can set your reminders. Make sure you tap that like button if you came across this video and you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing. I would love to have you. And make sure you tap the bell if you haven't subscribed. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, y'all. And good night, good morning, or good evening. See you later. Bye-bye. Or good afternoon. Bye.